President of the United States the Nobel Peace Prize.
More from CBS's Weijia Zhang at the White House.
This is an award that he has long wanted. Even before he learned anything about what happened during this meeting, the Nobel Peace Center sent out a post on social media to say that the medal can change owners, but the title of a Nobel Peace Prize laureate cannot.
President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, allowing him to deploy troops as protests against immigration and customs enforcement persist in Minneapolis. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
It provides the president with extraordinary power, and frankly, we don't have a lot of precedent to indicate that there are significant checks either from Congress or the judicial branch to second guess the president on his decision that, yes, we do need the Insurrection Act.
The president continues his efforts to take over Greenland. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says a Washington meeting with foreign ministers from Greenland and Denmark was productive and a good start.
The two sides agreed to really establish a working group of individuals who will continue to have technical talks on the acquisition of Greenland.
But Secretary Leavitt says President Trump is not changing his mind.
He wants the United States to acquire Greenland. He thinks it's in our best national security to do that.
FIFA says it has received more than 500 million ticket requests for this year's World Cup.
This is absolutely unbelievable.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino says they received ticket requests from 211 countries.
This shows definitely that the World Cup, which is coming up, will be the greatest sporting and social event in the history of mankind.
FIFA will notify people about their ticket applications next month. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Actor Timothy Busfield is ordered held without bond in New Mexico in a child sex abuse case pending a detention hearing next Tuesday. Busfield turned himself in earlier this week on an arrest warrant and criminal complaint from Albuquerque police that accused him of inappropriately touching a minor while on the set of the TV series The Cleaning Lady. District Attorney Sam Bregman.
Each count of criminal sexual contact carries up to 6 years of incarceration. In child abuse, carries up to 3 years.
Busfield has denied all charges against him. Stocks steadied on Wall Street today, with all three indexes closing up. Also helping to calm the market were oil prices, which eased sharply on hopes for calming tensions in Iran. This is CBS News.
I'm Major Garrett. Follow and listen to The Takeout on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A protest against ice at Boeing Field. More on that story, but first let's check in with Lori and see what's happening at the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Desk.
Traffic is brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. 405 southbound or 132nd at Totem Lake. We still have the right lane closed for some maintenance, but the bigger slowdown actually is in the northbound direction. Bellevue to Everett right now, 43 minutes. Southbound 5 at James, we have a stall in the HOV lane. Seattle to Linwood, a 7-minute delay at 23 minutes. Bellevue to Issaquah, 13 minutes. It's about a minute longer than usual. Bellevue to Federal Way, are you ready for this? 57 minutes. Federal Way to Tacoma, an 11-minute drive. Save $600 off windows and $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Don't wait. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Hundreds of people turned out this morning for a protest against ICE and deportations at the King County Airport in Seattle. The protest was sponsored by the organization La Resistencia. They say they stand in opposition to ICE taking people off the street, separating families, and stoking fear. Protester Mickey Rowe.
I think that family separation is state violence. They're not following any checks or balances or giving people due process, and we need to start calling it violence because that's what it is.
The group says other protests are already in the works. The Bellevue Police Department is cracking down on speeders and street racers, and if you're caught, you can expect zero tolerance. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Bellevue Police has long taken cues from its citizens, and now many have apparently expressed concerns about speeding drivers who make them feel unsafe. So, beginning this weekend, patrol officers will implement a Safer Roads initiative targeting speeders and street racers who jeopardize lives. Bellevue PD's Drew Anderson.
Whenever you're traveling in an urban area, in an urban setting, and you are choosing to street race, you are putting the lives of others at risk.
Anderson says the Safer Roads initiative will continue all over Bellevue indefinitely. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A suspected Grinch was in a King County courtroom today. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay tells us about the man accused of stealing dozens of Christmas trees.
48-year-old Casey Graham Haynes is charged with second-degree theft. Casey McNerthney in the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says in late November, Haynes stole 40 Christmas trees and an orchard ladder from Donna's Trees in Seattle's Interbay neighborhood. All that stuff is worth about $3,300.
It's the kind of crime when you see someone do it, you think, are you kidding? You're stealing Christmas trees, allegedly? That's really not the spirit of the season.
Prosecutors say he was already out on bail in connection with other unrelated cases. In this one, he pleaded not guilty. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A new report links a possible design flaw to that UPS plane crash in Kentucky. The National Transportation Safety Board says cracks in the left engine mount may have contributed. Boeing warned about the issue years ago, but said it wouldn't affect safety. The MD-11 jet caught fire after takeoff from Louisville last November, killing 15. Investigators have not released a final cause. And now your weather update. We're beginning to see filtered sunshine off in the distance there. It's going to get cold overnight with a low around 38 in Seattle. Cloudy tomorrow morning, turning mostly sunny, and 52 Friday. Right now, mostly cloudy and a cool 46 here in Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Why you enjoy the show. Let's learn and grow. Here we go.
I have vital information on a cold case for a Rachel Runyon, a little gal that was kidnapped and was clear back 79. Anyway, please have someone call me. I've had a hard time getting any detectives or anyone involved with that to pay attention, and I'm hoping that we can open this up and get her family some closure. Thank you.
Wow. Legit call.
Look at us. Like a news station.
Did you now has somebody gotten back to the lady?
Not yet.
Crickets. Okay, let's play her call on the air. Let's make it public, and then let's just let it sit there.
One step at a time. Come on.
Gee whiz. I thought for sure that suddenly Sue Bell was going to jump in there.
I'm sure she'll be back.
Okay. Fake glasses are really causing me problems.
Hey, everybody, it's...
Oh, there we go.
I'm in Palm Beach.
Okay. All right, Sue. Driving in the news! All right. I was listening to this show yesterday. Man, it sounds like we are all drunk or high doing this show. I got to tell you something. I was listening to it. I'm like, this is the weirdest show. And I'm somewhat involved in it.
Yeah.
When we did Sweet Caroline, I'm like, come on. Tears to the eyes, right? It was really something. I just had a pause there for it. So thank you, those of you that listened. But
I listened to that yesterday or this morning, but without with just the dry feed.
Yeah.
Woo. So it's like
brutal.
It's a whole new it's a whole new way.
Although mine wasn't bad.
No, you're pretty good.
Touching you. I can do this. I can do Neil. Sweet Caroline. Here you go, Nick. Times never seem so good. You got to have that little gravelly thing.
That's right.
Good. I'm inclined to believe that never would. Okay.
And then Nate.
Let's start.
Nate wouldn't participate because he said his glasses were broken, but they
He kept yelling out, "My glasses are broken."
They were sitting on his face.
Why was he yelling that out?
Because the lens fell out. But I don't know why I couldn't be. I guess he was looking for an excuse. He's looking for an excuse to not sing, probably.
Wow.
And he's not here to defend himself. We have Lori instead.
Okay,
so.
Ben. There's Lori right behind you. All right, I've already dove in, haven't I? All right, Teeny's there. Well, let's get started. Here, this according to Joe. Hi, Teeny. Is the news. 1-888-973-5476. Be a part of the show. YouTubers out there, how are they doing? They're all in there fighting and backbiting one another. No,
being all right.
dogs, you got to separate them. You got to separate a dog fight. You got to grab the back legs.
Ooh.
Pull out the back legs on those guys.
Good tip.
Do that back leg for the YouTubers out there. I saw this story because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm sitting too many hours of the day. If you sit for 6 hours a day, you need to do this. And if you do this, you will have less health problems than everybody else that doesn't do it. You have a 23% chance you'll have a better outcome of your life if you sit for 6 hours a day. I read that, and then all of a sudden, I went into one of my rabbit holes. I found the craziest story. Starting from coffee. Oh, I gave away the answer. You drink coffee.
That's a tease.
You sit for 6 hours and you drink coffee. Compared to non-coffee drinkers, you have a 23% chance of not coming down with some of the maladies that normally take the others out. Says Joe's drinking his coffee. And then, well, I'll leave the rest. It's wild. It's just a wild story. All right. From the rabbit hole. Then day in history, we'll go back to, let's do Sully Sullenberg and his The Miracle on the Hudson. We're going in. And by the way, when I read Sully's review of the movie that Tom Hanks was in, he's like,
really?
Yeah, so the first part was great. But then once it got into court, he's like, that didn't happen. Yeah.
Kiss.
I asked Rye for his thoughts. He loves Sully. And there's a great quote in there. The pilots, there's an exchange between Sully and the co-pilot that all pilots love. There's one little question, one little answer that all pilots are like, that's the best part of the whole movie, the whole story. Not just the movie, but the whole story. Let's see. If you got a fat cat, you know who you are with your fat cat. You know, suddenly food is love, and then you got yourself a great big cat. Well, help is on the way. Should I just tell them what it is?
No.
All right. And then Jim Walsh is going to stop by, our state representative there, our rep from the 19th, heading up the GOP, the fighting GOP in the state of Washington. We want to ask him about the possible fraud, waste and abuse that goes on with the daycare centers in the state of Washington. Imagine that. There might be something. They're still trying to find out where the $415 million go. And then also, where's the additional? And then when a member of the Democratic Party were asked, should we have an audit? Should we look into it? They're like, why? Why look into it? And then what do you hear the answer from? Who was it that gave the answer on, why we shouldn't be looking into it?
Lori. Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins. Yes. There's a particular term in debating for what she did, and we'll ask Jim about all that and the rest of the stuff going into it. And then also the airport divorce. We never got to this story yesterday. So those of you that were expecting to see it on the test yesterday, I am sorry. There will be extra credit for you. If you want your marriage to last, spend at least 20-some days apart.
I live by that.
It's to me, because it's like if you eat steak every day, like filet mignon, really good stuff from like Owen's Meats there in Cle Elum. If you have that every single day, and then you're like, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, steak from Owen's Meats. You lose the beauty of it. I ran out of music already? Jeez, I'm only halfway through. Hang on. Oh, God, it's so technical. All right, let's see more. Trump vows to cut federal funds from sanctuary cities. This has been blocked before. In 2017, he's still planning to do it. And then Governor Tim Walz, the now disgraced Mr. Tim Walz, gives a very grim speech as it looks like they're going to go to war with the federal government. That's what you want. And then the food pyramid, we're going to get to that story. Boy, that is a fascinating story of how that whole thing was all contrived, was all built on a bunch of lies. And now RFK Jr., whatever you think about him, he's basically flipped it upside down. And you'll live a healthier life because of it. And we're talking about the Seahawks, of course. You're getting into how they got their name. Season tickets. Did we find anybody that's upset about the season ticket holders not being able to resell?
Not yet.
Okay. By the way, if you are a season ticket holder, if you know somebody that is, are you outraged? Will you come on the air and just drop a lot of F-bombs and make Andrew stay on his toes and tell us, even if you're not a season ticket holder, but you just want to come on and just scream like you are, we'll take that as well. 1-888-973-5476. All right. And Seahawk fans can have photo mementos of them cheering on the Seahawks at Lumen Field. Why is that a story?
Some people think it's an invasion of privacy.
Well, who's taking the pictures?
Some tech company that has a camera that you can go any game ever. You can go find your seat or anybody else's seat and get a nice high resolution picture of them sitting in that seat.
Well, I guess once you have entered the stadium,
Yep.
right, you have given up your privacy in that regard, right? Yeah. Did you see the funny thing? It was a great, the kiss cam? It was at a baseball game, and the kiss cam's going around, and it lands on one couple, and she takes her big gulp soda that she's got off to the side, and then ends up simulating a particular sex act on her boyfriend.
Haven't seen that one yet.
It's pretty. Too bad I didn't run out of music and you skipped that story. All right. I was thinking. So here's a story that if you sit for 6 hours and you drink coffee drinkers can, compared to non-coffee drinkers, you have a 23% chance of lowering a whole bunch of problems that can hit you later on in life. So if you sit for 6 hours and you drink coffee, you'll do better than the people that are sitting for 6 hours and not drinking coffee. So that's the story that I found. I was like, well, that's kind of interesting for about 5 seconds. And then, there you go, right over there. And I started thinking, okay, when did we become coffee drinkers? I'm out with a friend. You know this one? No. Squeeze. You know this one?
No.
Black coffee in bed, squeeze. So we started drinking coffee because of tea and the Boston Tea Party. So then I went deep into the rabbit hole. This is really an amazing story. All right, Andrew, hit the Revolutionary War sort of music, whatever you got there in there. Okay, good enough. So a bunch of men disguised as Mohawks, where I have music, snuck on to the ship that had come over from England, and they decided that they're going to dump the tea. They dump, I think, about more than 300 crates. It's been different from 128 crates to 324 crates, but it doesn't matter. They took the tea and they dumped it overboard, right? That was the beginning of it was a Boston Tea Party, right? Everybody knows that story. They, as they brought the crates on board, they cracked each one open to make sure there was only tea that they were dumping. As they threw it in, it was about more than $1.5 million worth of tea in today's dollars were thrown overboard. And then coffee became the drink. If you really wanted to show that you weren't part of the oppressing no taxation without representation, you started drinking coffee. So then coffee houses became very, very popular. If you're seen drinking tea, but coffee became the drink for this young nation that would soon be born. Now, one of the crates that they didn't disturb had a book in it. And this book was a book of poetry. And this is where the story gets really great. The poet was a young woman by the name of Phyllis. Now, that was the name that she was given because that was the name of the slave ship that she came in on. She was bought and brought to this country from Gambia back in 1761. The people that ended up buying her, and they bought her for just a small amount of money because she was 7 years old. She was very sickly and covered by only a piece of a dirty carpet. The Whitleys are the ones that purchased her. They were there in Boston. They knew the girl was too sick to work anywhere else but in the house. And within a short time, the Whitleys noticed that she was extremely bright. So Mrs. Whitley had her daughter Mary and her son Nathan teach Phyllis how to read. She was able to read Greek and Latin in a short period of time, and by the age of 9, she wrote her first poem. She was also hired to write elegies. Elegies. These were poems that were written for the people that had passed. And Mrs. Whitley took great interest in this young poet, and she was able to produce 28 poems. And Mrs. Whitley put out a broadsheet there in Boston that she wanted somebody to publish the poems of the young black slave girl. But people all of a sudden started saying, well, wait a minute, she didn't write these. These are not, there's no way that some girl, some slave girl who's 12 years old or whatever she was at the time, there's no way they could have possibly done that. So they had kind of a little bit of a trial for her, which is really bizarre when you think about it. But they ended up having a number of people come and read the poems and then talk to Phyllis Whately about the work. And John Hancock was there. And he's like, yeah, I believe that she's written these. He testified in honor of the author. And at that point, then everybody agreed. This young girl, with the education from the slave holder, the Whitley family, was legitimate. And with this, Nathan Whitley and Phyllis travel to England, and they meet the Earl of Dartmouth and John Horton and Ben Franklin. She was received there in Britain as a celebrity of sorts, and her poems were then published in England. And they were placed on the ship, the same ship that had the tea that would be tossed overboard. But when the men decided that although they were working quickly and quietly and not to draw much attention, they broke open the crate and they did not disturb the book. And the book itself, written by the young black girl, was then saved. Her freedom came later on in life after traveling to Britain and coming back again. She was then released from the Whitley people, and she then found her freedom. Unfortunately, she married a man. She found it very difficult to have any of her work published. She ended up working in a kitchen, and by the age of 31, her illnesses eventually took the best of her, and she passed away. But not before George Washington wrote her letters, and she wrote back to General George Washington. She became very famous, not only in life, but in death as well. So here is the story of the young girl who came to America as a slave and ended up being the first black female author of amazing poetry. All because that one crate was not disturbed by the men that were throwing the tea overboard. Now right into black coffee in bed. See if you can do it. Can't do it.
Can't read it.
Let me see. Watch it.
With lips full of passion, coffee.
What was her name one more time?
Phyllis Wheatley. I got it. I'm bad with last names. Here comes Lori. Luckily, she doesn't have
now
one.
you know the rest of the story.
Here we go. Lori, what do you got out there?
Traffic is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. 405 southbound at 132nd at Totem Lake. We still have the right lane blocked. But again, the bigger slowdown is heading northbound, making your drive Bellevue to Linwood about 4 minutes longer than usual. Seattle to Everett now 49 minutes. Bellevue to Federal Way up to 58 minutes. And if you're heading out of Seattle all the way to Tacoma, just a 49-minute drive. No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes. Get it all handled with one call to Home Comfort Alliance. Over 40 years doing heating, plumbing, and electrical right. HomeComfortAlliance.com. I'm Lori. KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
You said it, Lori. Thank you. Now, here's a simple New Year's resolution that is guaranteed to succeed. I'm talking about reversing hair loss. This is a quick, easy, one-day hair loss solution from Advanced Hair. Your hair begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow. Dr. Alan Perungo, world-class Dr. Alan Perungo and his top-rated team there at Advanced Hair recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. That's the second time they've received that great honor. So I noticed about 13 years ago, 14 years ago, my hair is starting to fade, go away, was coming back again. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go in there. So I did, and I've got my hair back. So a full head of hair for you and your New Year's resolution, this can be achieved. And you can celebrate the new year with advanced hair and your hair back. You're going to get $250 off and $250 free hair graft. All you got to do is schedule a free consultation at 425-449-8185. 425-449-8185. You want to visit them online at Advanced Hair and check out the before and after pictures right there for you at advancedhair.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the 3s every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
If you've saved more than $300,000, you may have a big problem in retirement, and it's taxes. Taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, taxes on your Social Security benefits, taxes on your investment income, and more. And when you add it all up, this could be your largest expense in retirement. That's why it's critical you get in front of this now. Hi, it's Charlie Harger. Discover the strategies that could significantly reduce your taxes in retirement with a free customized retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, who has 2 locations in Seattle. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350. Don't overpay your taxes to the government. Call 206-210-1350.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No statement contained herein should constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Styles change. 12s grow. But Seahawks love? That's forever. From the young fans in their fresh new jerseys to the lifelong 12s in their throwback jackets. At the Pro Shop, we've got gear for 12s of every age and every walk of life.
It's legal or investment
This
advice.
is the Pro Shop. Change. Shop official Seahawks gear in store at Lumen Field and the Landing and Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop. From the young fans and fresh new jerseys,
low drive or strength not what it used to
to
be.
the lifelong 12s and the throwback jackets.
At Revive Men's Health Washington,
At the Pro Shop, we've got gear for 12s of every age
to get
and
real
every walk of
answers.
life.
Legal or
And this
investment
month
advice.
is the style
Qualified
change.
patients may
Shop
receive
official
25%
Seahawks gear in
off
store at Lumen
testosterone
Field,
replacement
Landing and
therapy.
Renton, or online at
206-529-1111
Seahawks.com/Pro Shop. From the young
or
fans
visit
and fresh new jerseys,
ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Drivers apply. Not what it used to
to the
be.
lifelong
For many men,
12s
it's
and the
low
throwback
testosterone.
jackets.
At Revive Men's Health Washington,
At the Pro Shop,
start with a
we've
free
got gear for
TJ
12s
exam
of
and
every
consultation.
age.
News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
President Trump, good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. President Trump has paused plans to attack Iran. He says the violent government actions against protesters has stopped and there's no longer a need for U.S. intervention. Washington State Congressman Adam Smith is skeptical about the abrupt halt in violence, telling CNN.
There is still a lot of unrest in Iran. But his comments yesterday, hey, all good, no one's getting killed anymore, I think was maybe a way for him also to sort of step back from drawing a red line that he might not want to cross.
Smith adds that he believes U.S. involvement is still on the table. 2 shootings reported in quick succession in Seattle Wednesday. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson reports.
One of those victims was treated right here in the intersection of Denny Way in the middle of the day today. Now, State Patrol tells me that person is cooperating with investigators at Harborview, but the other shooting victim is not, according to Seattle police. So State Patrol says the shooting happened 6 miles south of here on I-5 near the West Seattle Bridge. The victim saying they were tailgated by someone driving aggressively.
Police do not believe the shootings are related. FIFA says fans really want those World Cup tickets. More than 500 million requests. The tournament is coming to the U.S., Mexico, and Canada this year, with Seattle hosting 6 matches. Outside the host countries, most requests come from Germany, England, Brazil, and Spain. Tickets aren't cheap. Some cost up to $8,600 each. After backlash, FIFA will offer $60 tickets to national federations for fans who've attended past games. Flatstick Pub is bringing mini golf and craft beer to Woodinville. The Seattle-based Social House signed a lease in the Schoolhouse District. It's moving into the former Walla Walla Steak Company space on Northeast 175th Street. The company expects to open by the end of this year in the 12,000-square-foot spot. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, Flatstick started in Kirkland in 2014 and now has several locations in the state. And now from our real-time traffic desk, here's Lori.
405 southbound, right at 132nd. Still doing a little bit of road work, not too much of a slowdown. Still rolling pretty slow, though, 405 northbound at Bellevue to Linwood, 4 minutes longer than usual. We have a new collision, southbound 5 at 50th in the U District. That's right in the center lane. Linwood to Seattle, now 4 minutes longer than usual. And Bellevue to Federal Way, 58 minutes. Seattle to Tacoma is a 49-minute drive. Oh, another new collision, State Route 18 to 181. You've got a collision in the left lane. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thanks, Lori. And now your weather update. Another cold night ahead with a low near 38 here in Seattle. Friday morning will start off cloudy, turning mostly sunny tomorrow afternoon with a high around 52. Right now, mostly cloudy and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Wake up. No, she's up there. Okay. 1-888. All right, whatever that means. 1-888-973-5476. Come on in, everybody. Home Comfort Alliance. When it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs, Home Comfort Alliance. By the way, they got a big sale right now. $2,000 off on a Lennox heating and cooling system. That's a good thing to have. All right, this day in history, Joe. This day in history. 1831, The Hunchback of Notre Dame is finished. I think it took him like 4 months to write it, something like that. What you think about it? That's a big deal. I mean, you got to write it, you scribble it all down on a piece of paper.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that Dickens, his handwriting was so bad that they'd be like, I'm sorry, what's that word right there? I don't know. 1870, first appearance of the Democratic Party, the donkey. 1929, Martin Luther King is born. Martin Luther King Jr. is born on this very day, 1929. And the Packers beat the Chiefs. If you had money on it, by the way, that was 1967. That game was fixed. Really? No, I'm kidding. 1972, American Pie hits number 1 on the pop charts. And Don McLean wrote that while sitting in a cafe. So I remember reading the whole story about how he did that. Sitting in a cafe and just came to him and one piece after another. And then you get that big, long American Pie song.
Jeez, should have stopped at 4 minutes.
Did you write the book of love? And do you
See, we're going to stop at a certain point. And you got to give the next lyric. You ready?
If the Bible tells you so.
Do you believe in rock and roll?
Music can save
your mortal soul.
The Bible tells you something.
Here you go.
How do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul?
And
can you teach me how to dance
real slow?
Wow.
Can you teach me
how to dance
real slow?
And saw you dancing in the
Well, I know that you're in
love with him because I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. How I dig those rhythm and blues.
You both kicked off your shoes.
Yep, okay.
Man, I dig those rhythmic blues. I was a lonely teenage bronc and buck
With a pink carnation and a pickup truck.
with a pink carnation and a pickup truck. But I knew I was out of luck the day the music died.
I was talking to these guys that do sound for a bunch of concerts, and I said, who is your favorite person you ever worked with? They said Cyndi Lauper.
Lies.
Loved her. Just
Really?
absolutely adored her. She was so fun, so kind. They do sound checks. Now they don't do as many. They don't do the sound checks the way they used to. I said, "Who's the worst?" The guy said, "Oh my God." Turns to the other guys. "Oh, the worst." He goes, "Oh, Don McLean."
Really?
Yeah. They said he was so. Well, maybe he's in a bad mood that day. No. All right. Let's see. 2001, Wikipedia launches. Boy, that's a great source for garbage. And then.
It's a great source.
Oh, you believe that stuff?
It's helpful.
Okay.
Anybody can edit it.
Yeah. I'm in there as an 81-year-old man from Penn State. People was John Curley. They go, and then I went to an event, and they went to introduce me. I was giving a keynote speech, and they had pulled it all up from Wikipedia. And I'm sitting there going, I don't remember any of that.
I remember turning 81.
Quite the career I did not have. And in 2009, Sully Sullenberg performs the Miracle on the Hudson, and 155 people on board when Sully calls air traffic.
This is Cactus 1539. Hit birds through lost thrust on both engines, returning back towards LaGuardia.
Okay, you need to return to LaGuardia. Turn left heading up 220.
220.
Tower, stop your departures. Got emergency returning.
Who is it?
It's 1529. He bird strike. He lost all engine. He lost the thrust in the engines. He's returning immediately.
Cactus 1529.
So you got to understand, this thing now is a glider. And Sully has to say, okay, can I make a 180-degree turn with no forward thrust? Am I able to turn this thing back around again and back into LaGuardia? That's the choice he has to make. Or Teterboro was, I think, 7 miles away. He's like, we're never going to make it to Teterboro. And there's great exchange. Pilots love this. So because you understand something, there is redundancy on top of redundancy on top of it. I mean, there's plan on top of plan on top of plan on top of plan. So Sully turns to Jeff Skiles, his co-pilot, and says, got any ideas? And Jeff returns with, actually not, which pilots love that. It's like, we have never faced anything like this before. Where they are, no other options. What are you going to do?
Which engines? He lost thrust in both engines, he said.
Got it.
Cactus 1529. We can get it for you. Do you want to try to land 1313?
We're unable. We may end up in the Hudson.
Ooh-ah. The bird strike, Sully says.
My day started like literally 10,000 other days. I was hoping the weather would cooperate so I could get home on time. We made it to LaGuardia, and after a brief layover, at 3:24 p.m. and 54 seconds, the tower at LaGuardia cleared us for takeoff. As we climbed, I had a clear view of the Hudson River. At 3:27 and 7 seconds, I told Jeff the after takeoff checklist was complete. Just 3 seconds later, I exclaimed, "Birds!" We felt the engines rolling back. A sudden, complete, symmetrical loss of thrust in both engines. I took control of the aircraft by telling First Officer Jeff Skiles, "My aircraft." And he responded, "Your aircraft," an acknowledgement that I was now the pilot flying and he would be pilot monitoring. Jeff began to go through the emergency checklist. I remember thinking, this can't be happening. But I knew I'd have only seconds to figure out what to do and minutes to execute the plan. In the cabin, the flight attendants felt the bird strike and assumed we were going to head back to LaGuardia. The cabin was as quiet as a library with no engine noise. But the passengers were mostly calm. They had no idea of the seriousness of the situation.
The landing.
I issued a mayday call and began a left turn as all of our options lay to our left. Air traffic controller Patrick Harton began to guide us back toward LaGuardia, but I quickly realized we could not glide that far. I told Patrick, "We're unable. We may end up in the Hudson." I asked him about Teterboro Airport off to our right. He immediately called Teterboro and let them know of our emergency, but I quickly realized we couldn't make it there either. The Hudson River was coming up fast on us at this point. I knew if I set the airplane down on the river and kept it intact, the boats and ferries in the river could come to our rescue. I took a second or two to contemplate what I knew would be the only words I would get to say to the passengers, the most important PA announcement of my life. I wanted to prepare them, but not frighten. I wanted to sound confident because I knew that courage can be contagious. I clicked on the intercom and said, "This is the captain. Brace for impact." I heard the flight attendants immediately start shouting their commands to the passengers. "Brace, brace, brace. Heads down, stay down. Brace, brace, brace. Heads down, stay down." Over and over again. Just before the cockpit alarm warnings came on, the incessant chiming and computerized voice repeating, "Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain." I told Patrick one last time, "We're going to be in the Hudson." 2 minutes, 18 seconds since we hit the birds. We hit the river, and while the impact was hard, I could tell the airplane was intact and floating. Jeff and I turned to each other and almost in unison said, "That wasn't as bad as I thought."
Crazy. Wow. Sully. Cool stuff. Let's see what else is there. Skip anything else in there? Other than Tom Hanks playing him. Did you see the movie?
I did, yeah. So it was all the post, the kind of like
well, they brought it all in there.
Review.
Yeah, you're going to blame this on us and blame it on a man and this and that, and that he said that's where it went like totally off. He said the first part was that's pretty much what was happening. Yeah, cool stuff. What's that?
So can you imagine being either pilot or passenger on that?
No, Sully was the last one out of the plane too, and it was pretty cool. All right, let's check with Lori's checking traffic. Lori, what do you got out there?
Well, we still have this ongoing maintenance 405 southbound at 132nd Totem Lake in the right lane. Got a pretty big slowdown. Bellevue to Everett now 53 minutes and still a problem in the U District. This is southbound I-5 in the center lane, right about 50th. Linwood to Seattle right now a 30-minute drive. Bellevue to Federal Way 53 minutes. And Seattle to Tacoma holding up 49 minutes. Traffic is brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent right to your phone. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Have you got Mike Novak's name in front of your house? Are you selling that house of yours? You're in great hands. Here's what happens. After the Super Bowl, a whole bunch of houses, I don't know why this is, they all come on the market at that point. But right now, if you've got Novak on your side, you're going to get your house sold. Because Mike Novak has made this promise. If he can't sell your house in 21 days, you don't pay him a commission. And this is not something, just some guy just getting into business trying to make news for himself. No, Mike Novak has got a proven system to sell the house. He's going to spend 70 times. This is his own money, 70 times. Make sure your house gets marketed. Make sure it gets seen and then shown and then sold. That's what Novak is going to do. He's done it over and over and over again. Regardless of what happens in the market, you're working with the best guy you can possibly hire to sell that house of yours. How to get in touch with Mike Novak? Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks.com. And Novak is spelled Novak. That's meetthenovaks.com.
This is what the NFL playoffs are all about.
The Seahawks win the game!
A dominant Seahawks team, 2 wins away from the Super Bowl.
This is the vision that we had for our team.
Hosting a bitter rival.
Richard Sherman tips it!
In front of the best, loudest fans in the game.
Listen to the 12th man!
Let's go. Seahawks 49ers, Saturday night, kickoff at 5 on the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So there are some folks who probably think that they are in the clear because they haven't been hounded by IRS agents for the last few weeks. But that is a false sense of comfort.
It's a false sense of comfort. And I understand why people feel that way, Jason, because with the IRS shut down, all the revenue agents, the auditors, the revenue officers, the tax collectors, they weren't in their office. And the IRS stopped sending out notices because they knew that, people just couldn't respond to them because there weren't a lot of IRS personnel around. And so you get comfortable, you get complacent. But I tell you, folks, really, if you got an IRS issue, it's better to take care of it now than later. It really is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
8 Americans are now on some type of GLP-1. That's like an Ozempic kind of thing for weight loss. And 1 out of 8, that's 15 million of us. And now, if you want to lose weight and you want your cat...
A pharmaceutical company out of San Francisco, it's called Okava, is beginning a pilot study of a GLP-1 drug for cats with obesity. They're calling it Meow 1, and they're doing it differently than adults. Not a weekly injection. A vet leading the study told the New York Times that it's a small implant that slowly releases the medication for 6 months. The company expects to get the results back by summer here, then start a larger clinical trial with hopes of getting FDA approval in 2 years or less. So if it all works out, it could be a game changer for both cats and dogs, because it turns out that 60% of all dogs and cats in America are clinically obese. Hundreds of thousands of them have diabetes. Now, some vets are actually already doing this off-label for pets with diabetes, but they are calling this the new frontier in medicine for your pets.
Okay, good. Himmy was the fattest cat, died, by the way, and Guinness used to give out the awards, and then they said we should probably stop encouraging this type of thing. But Himmy, who passed away at the age of 10, was 46 pounds, 15 ounces. So big, it had to be sort of transferred and transported around in a wheelbarrow.
10 is like less than half the age you can get out of a cat, isn't it?
Well, I think the fact that the thing weighed 46 or 47 pounds might attribute to that.
I know, but I'm just saying I'm surprised how much it shortened its life.
Oh, if it can't walk.
Okay, hey, everybody.
What do you think of the GLP-1 thing? Is it a net positive for...
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
I agree.
1 out of 8 people taking it. But how quickly we just jump right over Himmy for a minute there.
Fair.
Andrew seems pretty upset about this. You okay?
It just
he would live longer if you had some of your soup.
I feel, whoa, my spike soup, mind you.
Before we get on the air, Andrew's running around just talking about soup. I'm like, wait, will you calm down? He's all excited about different soups and stews. And
do I need to puree that?
And he and Spike, Spike gets excited about anything.
Oh, they were going.
Oh, you tried the potatoes? Calm down, Teeny. I'm not talking to you. Yeah, Andrew's like in there just going on and on about soup, soup talk.
He was mocking us. He said, "Oh, you guys are so cold in there. You know, it would warm you up.
Some
of this soup."
Soup.
Easy. It's the simple pleasures in life.
It is, isn't it? It's good. Is it homemade? You want to tell everybody about it?
Yeah.
I'll let Spike tell everybody about it.
Okay.
He's putting out the recipe, I think, on My Northwest.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're posting it.
Are you kidding?
Chief, people texted in about it, asking about the recipe.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Wow, that show's on before this show?
They never published any of our egg recipes.
No, any of that sort of stuff. All right, well, back to Himmy.
Yeah, fair.
That's all I got on Himmy.
Okay.
So if you want to get this, what they were talking about, Good Morning America, it's an implant. They're testing it now, and then eventually you can get your cat to lose some
Feed your
weight.
cat less.
Yeah, that would be good, right? Stop the cat or get some exercise and let it go around, right? Chasing after things.
Feed themselves.
I remember in time I went to my grandfather's house, and he had a big ranch in North Carolina, and all these thoroughbred horses, and he had all this money, and there was a cat there, and there's a stable guy that was working there, and he's like, had like one tooth in his head. He's like, don't make friends with a barn cat. I was like, what? You never don't make friends with a barn cat. I was like, why not? This cat is really nice. This cat's nice. Oh, you never want to make friends with a barn cat. Why not? He's like, you can't trust him. You just can't trust them barn cats. I said, I like this barn cat. I like this cat. Look, he likes me. So I'm holding on to him, petting him. And all of a sudden, I didn't have a shirt on. And all of a sudden, maybe the cat thought I was going to drop him or something. The thing locks on with its gross paws and digs into my skin. I let go, and the thing's still hanging on me. And the guy, I told you, I'm afraid of a barn cat. And you go, you're going to get some sort of disease or something. You better wash that out. I was like, how do I wash it out? Well, I don't know. I told you, don't mess with me about barn cat.
Take a moonshine bath.
Exactly. There you go, everybody. There's a tip for you. Here comes Lori checking traffic. Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Bellevue to Everett, actually, right now it's going to take you about 53 minutes. It's a 12-minute drive, Everett to Marysville. And southbound 5 at 50th, that accident now moved over to the right lane. Seattle to Everett, 36 minutes. And Bellevue to Federal Way, that's holding at 53 minutes. Seattle to Tacoma is a 50-minute drive. Looks like State Route 18 westbound, the earlier accident cleared, but it's pretty solid from 167 all the way up to I-5. And 167 really rolling slow, heavy out of Renton through Kent, and then picks up again Auburn all the way to Puyallup. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. I'm Lori, KIRO, Real-Time Traffic.
All right, if you've got a bad shoulder, elbow, wrist, knee, if you ever use the term bone on bone, help is on the way. I'll tell you from personal experience, it's now 11 weeks. I went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine because this is the guy to see when it comes to stem cell procedures. He's got more than 20,000 of them under his belt. It's so easy. All I did is I sent my MRI over. I sent the X-ray over. I made an appointment. I went in there. I talked to him a little bit, and he goes, this is pretty typical. We've seen this. You're a little younger than I expected, but you got some real problems in your hip. He showed me where the problems are. I said, I can't drive. I can't get off a plane. I can't run anymore. That's my biggest thing that I miss is being able to run. It's been 7 years since I put on my running shoes with this bad hip. He goes, let's do it. So I go in. It's a 90-minute outpatient procedure. This is the best. I'm telling you right now, if people are saying, go get surgery for your shoulder, your elbow, your ankle, your wrist, your knee, whatever it is, hold on a second. You owe it to yourself to go see drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
2 wins away from the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys.
The first obstacle, a hated rival.
Purdy has time, throws to the middle, intercepted.
Victim to some of the greatest playoff moments in Seahawks history.
Welcome to the dark side. Richard Sherman tips it. Whole city going up like it's our time.
Seahawks 49ers.
All teed up.
The divisional round of the NFL playoffs.
You know how we do it. Better bring your hard hat when you can illumine.
Saturday night, kickoff at 5 on the home of the Seahawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our State Thrive host pack.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympiChotTub.com. Better you, better life.
The G and Ursula Show.
There's a brand new Gallup poll out that shows independents are actually now the biggest group in the country.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Does this surprise you?
No, it's like a card trick. People in card tricks, the reason why you get fooled is because you pay attention to what they say and you don't pay attention to what they do. Most people only start paying attention when elections, policies, and things start affecting you.
Subscribe to the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel and watch live.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to the Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, to just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
At Bible Law Group, we understand what it means to be local legal representation. From shopping at the Bon Marché, picking up gear at Chubby and Tubby, crying for Joey Cora, now for Cal, grabbing a burger while JP Patches clowns by. We live here and fight for you. That's why Bible Law gives local representation to those facing legal problems too big for prayers, even if you can't pronounce Squim or Puyallup. Our legal team has secured more than $40 million in settlements for our clients. We're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump's threat to invoke the Insurrection Act to send military troops into Minneapolis to quell anti-ICE protests is alarming some members of Congress, mostly Democrats, like Representative Combat Veteran Jason Crow of Colorado.
It's our constitutional duty to reassert our authority over matters of war and peace, and the Posse Comitatus, which says that the military cannot be used for law enforcement purposes in the United States.
CBS's Lana Zak in Minneapolis says Governor Tim Walz's response to the Trump Insurrection Act comment is,
we need to start bringing the temperature down. And from the protesters that I've spoken with here, they have said that they don't have any intention of stopping their protests. And in fact, everything that the federal government is doing to try and make them stop only makes them feel stronger.
Several Middle Eastern allies of the U.S. are urging the Trump administration to hold off on strikes against Iran for the deadly crackdown on protesters. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
The White House insists all options remain on the table at the UN.
President Donald J. Trump and the United States of America stands by the brave people of Iran. Period.
U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz said enough is enough.
Iran says it's ready for dialogue, but its actions say otherwise.
Allies, including Saudi Arabia and Qatar, are said to be concerned that U.S. military strikes could destabilize an already volatile region.
Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado says she's given her Nobel Peace Prize to the president. And CBS's Linda Kenyon reports.
Machado met with President Trump at the White House. Then she met with lawmakers on Capitol Hill and confirmed.
I presented the President of the United States the medal of the Nobel Peace Prize.
Machado was in Washington to discuss Venezuela's future after the U.S. ouster of President Nicolas Maduro. She described giving the medal to President Trump as a recognition of his commitment to Venezuela's freedom.
Federal prosecutors in Pennsylvania charged 26 people in connection with a college basketball rigging scheme. U.S. Attorney David Metcalf.
This was a scheme that spanned 3 years and eventually enveloped 17 NCAA Division I men's programs, dozens of college athletes in fixed games.
A changing of the guard at Lucasfilm.
R2-D2, a pleasure to meet you.
After more than 13 years, Kathleen Kennedy, who was handpicked by George Lucas, is stepping down from Lucasfilm, putting the Star Wars factory under the creative control of Dave Filoni, who was the chief commercial officer. This is CBS News.
I'm Andrew Garrett. Follow and listen to The Takeout on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The search continues for a shooter here in Seattle. Details coming up. But first, a look at traffic from the real-time traffic desk. Here's Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Bellevue to Everett right now, 4-minute delay. Everett to Marysville is 12-minute drive. If you're heading from Everett to Seattle right now, just 36 minutes. But Bellevue to Federal Way is 53 minutes. Actually, Bellevue to Everett right now, an hour, 4 minutes. An hour and 4 minutes. 90, if you're heading from Bellevue to Seattle on 520, you're going to take 2 minutes longer. But I-90 right now, no delay at all, just 19 minutes. Pretty heavy drive 18 westbound, solid from 167 all the way to I-5, and 167 heavy out of Renton through Kent. You get a little break and then picks up again as you head from Auburn all the way into Puyallup. Confident winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing at SubaruofPuyallup.com and enjoy stress-free buying experience at Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. King County Metro says for the first time in years, assaults on bus drivers and passengers are down. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports.
Metro officials say in 2025, 55 incidents were reported involving a driver feeling threatened. Out of those, 7 met the criteria for criminal charges. That's compared to 78 incidents in 2024 and 63 in 2023.
We are committed to creating a safe work environment.
But the drivers' union says that's not enough.
It was just over 2 years ago that King County bus driver Sean Yim was killed by a passenger. Metro says it will continue to make safety improvements. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson has issued her first executive order to paint a dedicated bus line along Denny Way, which is one of the busiest routes in the city. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains.
At least one lane, maybe two, one in each direction along Denny Way. The mayor says riders have been asking for a dedicated lane there for years, her included. It's the same line she says she uses to get back and forth to her home.
Especially during rush hour, man, you can go out there and, you think that the bus is coming and you're still sitting there 20, 30, 40 minutes.
The mayor has directed SDOT to paint that lane immediately. In Seattle, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
At least one shooter is on the loose in Seattle, and police say there could be more following 2 shootings that happened yesterday just before noon. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Police say the first victim was dropped off at Harborview Medical Center with a gunshot wound and has been uncooperative. At nearly the same time, a second victim called 911 reporting he had been shot from another car while driving on I-5. SPD Detective Eric Munoz says it is unclear whether the 2 shootings are related.
He was dropped off in a vehicle. That vehicle has left the area, and that victim remained at the hospital with a gunshot wound.
As at least one shooting happened on I-5, the Washington State Patrol is expected to take the lead in the investigation. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police are asking for help finding someone who set fire to a Capitol Hill bakery on Christmas Day. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao reports.
James Propp still in disbelief watching this surveillance video. It shows a man setting fire to his Capitol Hill bakery, Cinnaholic, on Christmas Day.
It was pretty clear that he had a bag in hand of cardboard, boxes and stuff, and was just sitting there feeding the fire until it lit. And once it lit and it flamed up, this individual just got on his scooter.
The shop, usually filled with the scent of cinnamon rolls, now reeking of smoke. Flames charred the outside wall and blew out the window above it. Firefighters put it out before it could spread inside.
And now your weather update. Clouds will hang around overnight with a low around 38 in Seattle. Friday will start off cloudy, turning mostly sunny by the afternoon. High right around 52. Right now, 46 and mostly cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
It's John Curley, the radio host.
Jim Walsh, I'm so excited. That was a couple of years ago before we've had him on the show as a regular.
Sounded like you're bothering him.
Anyway, he's like, oh, it's John Curley, a radio host. All right, here we go. Liberace show continues.
Low taxes, strong roots, parents stand tall. When common sense is cornered, he answers the call. Sherman Walsh from the Fighting 19.
Yes.
Jim Walsh won't let Washington fall.
No. Won't let him fall, but it will let it crumble to its knees, but not completely on the ground. All right, Mr. Walsh from the 19th. You are the man that chairs the Washington GOP. I've got a bunch of stories I want to get to, but I'm going to play a bunch of sound and get your reaction to this. Because child care fraud, apparently it's a big deal in Minneapolis. There's no way it could possibly happen here. So there has been...
Hold my beer, John. Hold my beer.
So Carlene Johnson, who writes for the Standard, was in there asking some questions of DCYF. And here's one of her questions. She wants to know...
As a reporter, I have every right to knock on that door and say, you're getting a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah, so she's going around knocking doors of daycare centers, and she just wants to find out, is there actually a legitimate daycare center here? Much like, what was the guy's name there in Minneapolis? Shirley did, yeah. So she's like picking up on that. Here we go.
Are you actually watching kids? And you've got all
my two kids went to an in-home child care center. The woman who ran it is still to this day called Grandma Cindy by my kids in their 20s.
Care center too.
There's not a lock. There's not a gate going up to that front door. All of the regulations in the back for keeping the kids safe is in place. But if you were knocking on that door and I found out about it, I would lose my mind. That is a home. That is a home where a business operates to care for toddlers.
If it's a taxpayer subsidized daycare, we have every right to knock on the door and say, are you a legit operation?
The Department of Children, Youth, and Families audits all of them every year. Did you report that to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families?
Right.
Or did you write a story about it?
They have performed audits and the findings have not been acted upon. That I have reported on.
So when you went and knocked on a in-home family child care center, did you report that there was nobody there to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families?
That there was no one from DCYF there?
No, that there was. You said that there was no daycare going on there.
Right, there was no daycare.
And did you report that to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families so they could follow up?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, I look forward to hearing that because they audit every child care center every year, and they haven't found the instances of the kind of fraud that has been alleged.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, Jim, I'll give you a chance to jump in. But first, so then State Rep Lori Jenkins decides she's going to jump in there, and you're going to hear this.
I think, Carlene, what my point is you may have the right to do that. It's not right to do that. We have systems in Washington State that people should report fraud to. At the same time, that all of this is going on, we have people being scooped up.
Okay, now this is great, right? The Latin is what? Ignoratio laici. It's basically, right, Jim? So you can do that. We don't want you to do that, but then let's just...
Off of the street, we have a former speaker in Minnesota who opened the door to what she thought was a law enforcement agent, which was somebody dressed up. And it wasn't. And I get that you think it's different, and now she's dead. She's been assassinated.
Yeah.
So it is right for people to be concerned about those they don't know coming to their home, knocking on their door, asking to see things.
Yeah. This is from the same government during COVID that set up a snitch line for you to report your neighbor or a restaurant or something else. It's gone. Something else. Don't forget to call the state and report, see something, say something, right? I mean, this is the same government, but here's this citizen, not a citizen journalist, an actual journalist is out there knocking, doing a little investigation, and they're, chiding her for the work. Jim, what are we going to find? We're supposed to trust that the government is checking all of these daycare centers. What do you know on this story?
They're not, effectively. That was a combination of the current Speaker of the House, Lori Jenkins, whom you heard at the end there, that clip. And then two of her top lieutenants. The fella is Joe Fitzgibbon, and the other woman is Monica Stonier, all House representatives in the legislature. And they're all obviously nervous and jittery, and you heard it in their voices. You could hear it in their words. I mean, they're very nervous. They're not used to being held to account for supporting the misuse of taxpayer money. And this story on these child care centers paid for, the child care centers take money, grants and other forms of direct payment from the state government to operate. to give childcare, in theory, to give childcare to kids. And I should point out, John, it's important to know it's a combination of federal and state dollars that are being used in this program. So the feds have a role to play in this issue too. But what we've got is, based on what they found in Minnesota and some other states, we've got a pretty strong, so far, circumstantial case. There's evidence here that in Washington, we've been making these payments to phony child care centers. The paperwork has been filed right. They are legally, firm companies, and they filed their paperwork with the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. That's the state bureaucratic agency, DCYF, which is supposed to license and watch, investigate, inspect the child care centers in the state. DCYF is a dumpster fire. It is a terribly run state agency. And it's not the fault of the frontline social workers. They're actually pretty good. It's the fault of the middle and particularly upper level management of that agency. Disaster, just badly run, badly organized.
You're besmirching the character of dumpster fires with this one, because this
at least they're warm, right, John? At least they're warm.
Yes, there are 6,000 daycare centers in the state of Washington. The total budget between federal and state, although I don't like to separate because it's still coming from everybody's pocket, $353 million to subsidize these. And then when Chris Daniels was at a press conference from Como News, he asked,
would you support an outside audit? And if the answer is no, why not? And as you know, Chris, take fraud pretty seriously. We literally send someone to each child care provider in person every single year, at least one time a year. That happens every year in our state to every single provider.
These suggestions about fraud with really no basis yet. Last year, they did 29,000 consumer audits. They did 1,400 provider audits, finding no widespread abuse. Now, you can ask the state auditor to go ahead and check on that, but to cavalierly suggest...
Why are you laughing, Jimmy?
Well, the state auditor did check on it and said there's $770 million unaccounted for. So I think the speaker probably stepped on a rake there. Now, there's a lot of money unaccounted for in this program for making these direct cash payments to the child care centers. And I should say, John, the $770 million, that's a couple of years. That's not just 1 year. But let's keep our apples and oranges separate.
Yes.
The governor very nervously was talking there, of course. The issue is this agency, the bureaucratic state agency, DCYF, licenses the child care centers. Yeah, they're supposed to inspect them once a year. That's true. They don't audit them. John, this is another thing we can talk about. This word audit gets thrown around a lot, and people tell me, I want an audit. We need a third-party audit. We want an audit. Well, an audit, the word itself doesn't have a specific meaning. And some of my colleagues here are saying, well, they're audited once a year. Well, that's not an audit. That's not a financial audit. They send a person around, a social worker around, to go look at the child care center and make sure that the fences are set up right and there's a safe swing set or whatever. But they don't get it to them all. And they're certainly not looking for fraudulent payments. Those are handled by separate agencies. The Department of Social and Health Services, DSHS, and then in some cases by the Washington State Department of Commerce. So different agencies cut the checks. The DCYF inspects. None of it is a proper audit. The state auditor did look at how the payments were being handled. And as I said, her office found that there's a bunch of money that isn't accounted for right. So again, for emphasis, we don't have a smoking gun that con artists running phony childcare centers are cashing checks and making political donations to friendly politicians. But we have a circumstantial case that the money has been unaccounted for. Nobody's checking that these payments are being made to currently operating childcare centers. And all of a sudden, some of the documents that have helped us figure this stuff out have started to disappear from the websites of these agencies. So I just filed a lawsuit a few days ago asking the courts in Thurston County to put in an injunction ordering the agencies to stop deleting the documents that are public information that they've had on their websites that are helping us figure this stuff out.
How do they explain the deletions and the fact that the Department of Revenue website went down for more than, I think, a couple of days? What are they saying the reason they took some of that information away? Do you know?
Dog ate my homework. This has nothing to do with that. And we haven't even heard the formal response to the injunction. And then, that's a lawsuit. They have to answer it. But we haven't heard their answer there yet. But the sort of narrative press media type answer is dog ate my homework. This didn't have anything to do with that. It was unfortunate technical issues, blah, blah, blah. But we're skeptical how true that is.
And then there's a House bill. I don't know where I think it's got its first reading a couple of days ago. I forget who the legislator is from, I think, Mercer Island, wants to create less transparency. She doesn't want the names or the addresses or something of some of these daycare centers to be public.
Yeah, it's Senator Wellman, and it's a Senate bill, but yeah. And there's some question now whether it's really going to go forward at all or not. She said for a moment she pulled it, which you can't really do, but now they're saying she didn't pull it, so whatever. Yeah, it's a really poorly timed bill. It would allow exemption of child care center information from Public Records Act requests, so the public could not look at these documents that establish the license of the daycare center and the payments made by the state to the daycare center. So all that stuff would be put behind a privacy wall, and the bill is just wrong. They're going to have to do damage control on that one, because that just, it really makes them look suspicious. Yeah, let's switch gears to the sheriff. So the anti-elect sheriff proposal, you've seen that one out there. We were thinking of getting our is it Swank to get on there and talk about this sort of stuff? Oh, Swank lit him up this morning. He testified against one of them and really let him have it. Again, this was a state Senate proposal, and the idea here is it lets the governor and or the state attorney general decertify a locally elected county sheriff. That is not currently allowed. And so it would put the governor, it would essentially give the governor or the state AG a kind of veto power over county sheriffs who are elected by the people of those counties. It also sets up an administrative control mechanism that really looks like the beginning of getting rid of electing sheriffs in Washington state. So the idea is in the short term, the governor and the AG would get all this power. And then clearly the long-term play is they want to have sheriffs be appointed by the county commissions or the county councils and not elected by the people. And that's disastrous. Right. Sheriffs have got to be elected by the people of their counties. That has been something that's been sort of kicked around for a while. I want to get one more. Yeah, not new. And in King County, by the way, if you're in King County, your sheriff is already not elected. They changed that. The King County sheriff is no longer elected, appointed by the county council. Bad idea. You want the sheriff to be independent of the county council and challenge them if need be on bad ordinances and policies. And I was listening to that the news break, John, and welcome to Katie Wilson's Seattle, where arsonists ride away on their scooters. That's Seattle. Come on now, Jimmy. I endorsed her. Everybody's got to do what they got to do, John. I like the experiment. Chalice of poison once in a while. I like the experiment. One last thing. I talked about this yesterday. The governor has announced that the West Coast Health Alliance, we got California, we got Oregon, and now we got Washington. So you don't have to listen to RFK Jr. In British Columbia. We got the Canadians in it, too.
They're involved in it? Okay, good. So we don't need to listen to RFK Jr. and the CDC. That's such a corrupt, horrible organization. You just stick with California, British Columbia, and Oregon, and they're going to take good care of you.
Yeah, it's an idiot idea. It's unconstitutional, a federal constitution. And they can yap all they want about it. If the governor actually tries to make any kind of law or policy or mandate based on this Cascadia regional whatever it is, then he's breaking the law. I mean, he can talk about it all he wants, and he at his State of the State, he was insulting Centers for Disease Control. It was bizarre. Mr. Science ripping on science.
Yeah.
And I actually, that's when I had enough. He was insulting ICE. He was insulting the Centers for Disease Control.
Did you walk out, Jimmy? Did you walk out?
I walked out. But I mean, everybody expects that anymore. I tried, John. I tried. I sat there and I listened to as much of this garbage as I could, and I just couldn't. I couldn't stand it. I mean, I walked off the floor. I still listened to it. I was in the building. I was off to the side, but I don't like this guy ripping on. We've got the supremacy clause, right? That's in the state constitution.
Yeah.
It's Article 1, Section 2. Our state constitution says the federal constitution is the highest law of the land, and by extension, federal law supersedes state law.
Yes.
Everybody knows. Every kid in school knows this. Well, I don't know.
No, that's not
After
true.
Chris Reichel, maybe they don't. But every kid in school used to know this.
Yeah.
And this governor, who's an attorney and was the state attorney general, is pretending he's Forrest Gump. Like he doesn't understand that the supremacy clause, and there's one in the federal constitution, there's one in our state constitution. This is 101. He can't make policy that violates federal policy, and if he does, it'll get bounced out by the courts.
Yeah.
So it's all show, John. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
He actually tries to make law with British Columbia. Then he's breaking federal law. Can't do that, man.
Well, you should have pulled a Speaker Pelosi and just ripped up the pages, sat there and with your shaky hands. And wait, that's my stock. Wait a minute, that's my stock tip. Don't throw that out. All right, Walsh. There he goes. Chairman Walsh.
It's only starting, John. It's
I know.
Just the first week.
Hang on there, Walsh. Thank you.
Oh, fine. Be well, everybody.
All
We'll
right.
talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
We'll still be standing.
That's right, Canada. Suck on that.
There you go. All right, here it comes. Lori checking traffic. Lori.
Bellevue to Linwood right now is a 43-minute drive. It's going to take you 21 minutes, Linwood to Seattle. Bellevue to Federal Way, just under an hour at 55. And Seattle to Federal Way is a 33-minute drive. I'm seeing really heavy traffic, 167 out of Renton through Kent. And again, Auburn to Puyallup. Federal Way to Tacoma, you've just got a 1-minute delay. But South 5 really heavy from 18 to 512. And then again, past Joint Base Lewis McChord. And northbound I-5, pretty slow from 512 all the way to State Route 16. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Let's see. If you're over the age of 50, by the way, I'm only wearing these glasses. I don't need glasses anymore, just to cover up the unsightly bruising, Joe. You're over the age of 50. You don't wear glasses, contacts. You don't want anything to do with that anymore. You might even be concerned about cataracts. You have got to see the doctors over there at K2 Vision. They've got this thing called RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. And I can tell you my story very quickly. Went in there, met Dr. Kopstein, talked about golf and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I told him I got these every year. I got to get another prescription. He goes, yeah, let's take a look at the eyes. Let's see what we got there. But if it's not going to have a great result for you, I'm going to tell you to come back in like 10, 15, or 20 years. Like, no, I want you to fix my eyes now. He says, no. If it doesn't have a great result, I won't do it. And that's the thing that sold me. I was like, okay, this guy really cares. He's not just trying to get me in there, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, on this stuff. So he takes a look at my eyes. He goes, man, they are hard. They're in bad shape. So I go in, get the procedure done, 5 minutes, one eye, 5 on the other, go back in 2 days later, a day later, I got 20/20 vision. No more glasses, no more readers, no more contacts. This is RLE, K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at GuardianRoofing.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Seattle Sports is reporting Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold is on the injury report. During today's practice, Darnold said that he felt something in his oblique while passing the ball. He sat out the rest of practice stating, "I just didn't want to push it." This is the first time Darnold has had an issue with his obliques. He is confident, however, that he will be ready to play by Saturday. Drew Lock is our backup quarterback. Mayor Katie Wilson has issued her first 2 executive orders, including expanding efforts to create emergency shelter for the homeless. Her new executive order creates an internal team to identify incentive plans, permitting changes, and other policy changes to bring the homeless inside. The order also calls on identifying public land to rapidly expand shelter and housing needs. Mayor Wilson says simply clearing homeless camps is not a long-term solution.
People understandably might not want an encampment near their business or near their residence, but if we're moving people along without actually getting them inside, then they're just going to another place and then they're going to be back.
Wilson says her order is only the beginning and she wants to see progress before next summer's World Cup. Microsoft is sounding the alarm on Washington's housing crisis.
Microsoft President Brad Smith says the state needs 55,000 new housing units every year. But last year, only 34,000 permits were issued.
We're going in the wrong direction.
Microsoft has spent $750 million on affordable housing since 2019, but even that only preserved or built 16,000 units.
You learn a lot when you spend $750 million trying to solve a problem.
Now the company is out with a new report that urges state lawmakers to speed up the permitting process, open land for development, and reduce costs. Frank Lenzi. KIRO News Radio.
The Bullfrog Road overpass near Cle Elum is open again after crews rebuilt the span in just 86 days ahead of schedule. The bridge was hit by an overheight load last fall. WashDOT's Megan Lott says people who live in Cle Elum and Rosslyn have had to deal with long detours.
So I know it's been a fairly inconvenience for those residents as well as other drivers. So it was important for us to kind of get this back open as soon as possible, just to kind of restore that access to the community.
The bridge will close briefly again in the spring for final paving. And now let's head over to our real-time traffic desk. Here's Lori.
We have a new collision. It's Highway 99 in Everett at Lincoln, and it looks like that one's sitting in the right lane. Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Bellevue to Everett right now, we're looking at an hour and 11 minutes, but if you're going in for Seattle to Everett, that's an hour, and then reverse that, Linwood into Seattle, about half that, just 21-minute drive. Seattle to Bremerton right now is on an extended one boat until the weekend when they'll get back to 2 boats. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Now your weather update. The clouds are going to stick around overnight with a low around 38 in Seattle. Mostly cloudy to start off Friday. By the afternoon, we'll see mostly sunny skies and a high near 52. 46 and cloudy right now in downtown. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News in the morning brings you the most urgent headlines, the things you need to know before you head out the door. Just like you need that cup of coffee, they'll help you start your day off on the right foot. Live, breaking news, KIRO 7 pinpoint weather, and KIRO 7 real-time traffic to help you avoid those back-to-school backups. Check in with KIRO 7 News in the morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m. only on KIRO 7 TV.
Yes. Yes, Joe. Yes.
Excellent.
Way to go. Good read.
Thanks.
Nice. Strong. Bucky's? This is where the show went off the rails yesterday. No, stop. We're going to get this important story. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. 16 locations, been around for 50 years. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. No, stop, because I listened to the show yesterday, and at that point, then we lost all credibility.
Oh, that's what it did. That's what it did.
1-888-973-5476. Is Swank coming on Monday? Sheriff?
He is, yes.
He is, okay. That'll be good. Here's a story from the Washington Post that they call it airport divorce. I don't know, they shouldn't call it that, but that's what made me click on and look at it. They say that couples that have enough space, enough sort of distance and time apart end up having a better relationship. I can tell you, my own experience, having met this woman one time at the airport, I saw that she had a watercolor box. I saw she's flying to Italy. I said to her, I noticed she was married. She was in her mid-70s. And I said, hey, where are you going? And she says, I'm going to go to Italy. I'm going to be paying for 3 weeks. I said, what about your husband? How's he feel about it? Well, he's a pilot for United, and he flies Seattle to China. So we see each other. I said, how many days out of the whole month do you see each other? And she says, about 9 days normally out of the month. I said, wow, that doesn't seem like enough. She says, it's perfect. You got to look at it this way. You got a moment? I said, yeah. She goes, you got to have, if you get married, you got to have 2 gardens. One, he's got his garden, I got mine. I said, what's his garden? He's building this log cabin on this island in Alaska that we have a piece of property there, and I hate it. I hate the log cabin. I don't want to be there. I don't want anything to do with it. I just can't stand it. I said, how does he feel about your watercolors? Ho-hum. He didn't care at all about my watercolors. I said, so what's the deal? Like, how does that all work? She says, you got to think of it like 2 gardens. So his garden is the cabin. My garden is the watercolors. So I don't ask to do anything in his garden. He doesn't ask to do anything in my garden. There's no compromising at all. It's not like if normally with a garden, it's like, oh, let's do lima beans. No, we can't. Let's do strawberries. That takes up too much room. She goes, you end up compromising and you end up growing zucchini, which nobody likes. So she goes, the secret to a good marriage, just like was in this article, that you have to have the space between 2 gardens. You have your thing, he has his thing, and then we both come together to share the joy between the 2 gardens. What do you think about that theory?
I love that. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, so I thought, well, that's really cool. So I called my friend Jacob Bryan Smith, who is a songwriter who wrote that song for Tom. He's written Rise, Walk On song and stuff like that. And I told him, and I said, I'll help write the lyrics and you write the music. He said, great. And I said, and then I'll sing it to Nick when we get married in France. The problem is, Jacob Bryan Smith's got a great voice, but it's way up there. So I had the lyrics, and then he wrote the song, and then goes something. And his voice is very high. He just recorded for me. So two gardens, right? Where you go?
She has her garden, and I have mine.
Yep.
Planting our seeds, watering the vine. We do what we want, and we'll both be fine. As we go, because we know our gardens are healthy. We primp and we preen. I don't judge her spinach for why it's not green. We stand holding hands in the space between. And we grow.
See?
Even so, as the sun starts to set on a hot summer day,
This is my lyric.
I'm ready to sit back and quietly lay. Let's admire the time that it took. Drink some wine, read a book, take a breath. 'Cause our gardens are better together, whatever comes next.
Then his voice goes way too high for me.
Whatever comes
Did you sing it?
Wait, did I? Yeah, I did. But I when I sang it to Nick, I had Jacob Bryan Smith singing in the background on it. And when he hit the high notes, I just sort of let it. So this is the garden theory, and that's basically what the article was. Why do they call it airport divorce?
I guess because when the couples were at the airport, the guy would go get his shoe shined or whatever, and she'd go to the duty-free store and shop.
Okay.
They do their own thing at the airport.
Oh, okay. All right. But then also the part of it, the distance between. And I found that to be true. And when this lady, I wish I remember her name or I even got her name. She said, you always hear, she goes, the thing that really bothers me. We have people that are married and they'll go, well, have you met my better half? I said, why does that bother you? She goes, because really? Do you really want to be half a person without that other person? How boring are you? She goes, you should be a complete human being. You get your partners the other complete human being and have joy that you bring, there between the two gardens. I was like, I think it's a brilliant idea. Because rather than growing together like this, you both end up suffocating each other.
I think that's why a lot of relationships that are formed, after you've had a couple long ones that didn't work out tend to be pretty good.
Oh, okay. Look at you.
Yeah.
Is it working out for you still?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's go to Lori. Checking traffic. Lori.
Highway 99 at Lincoln in Everett. We have a collision in the right lane. And Bellevue to Linwood right now, 45 minutes. Bellevue to Federal Way is a 51-minute drive. And if you're heading to Seattle on 520 or I-90, 30 minutes either bridge. Seattle to Everett, looks like that's a 1-hour drive right now. And looks like that's about it. We got pretty heavy traffic around the Fife curve and then picks up again 16 to 512 and past Joint Base Lewis McChord. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. Now through February 1st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
If you've been putting off retirement conversations because you're worried it's going to turn into a sales pitch, you're not alone. Hi, Ursula Reutin here. At Trajan Wealth, the focus starts with listening. Their advisors are fiduciaries, which means they're bound to put your needs first, and that changes the tone right away. No pressure, no promises, they're not working off commissions, and they're not pushing any specific products. With Trajan Wealth, it's about understanding where you are and having a clearer sense of what your options look like. Trajan Wealth is veteran-owned and works with families who want thoughtful guidance that fits real life. Start the new year off right with a game-changing financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth today to figure out how to make your New Year's resolution stick. Trajan, spelled Trajan. Call 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. all backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
You want to do Texas, Joe? You want to do some Texas? What are you going to do?
Sure.
I don't want to do this story about the father suing the mother over the...
It is sad.
It's so sad. How's my face coming along?
Well, speaking of your face, 206 said, hang on, let me pull this up. We're talking about the cats on Ozempic.
Yeah.
And 206 says, why in the world would you ask Wayne Newton if GLP-1s are okay? Look what he's done to himself, for blank's sake.
Come on. I mean, other than this is going to go away.
Yeah, no, you're just still...
Look at the neck thing. Come on now.
Yeah, that really is. You can't see
Pretty
anything.
amazing.
There's no scarring on the neck?
Yeah, well, it's all back behind the ears.
Oh,
don't look back there. I'm going to put those on. These are fakies, right? So if anybody from K2 Vision's listening, this isn't...
I'm starting to get used to the glasses on you, too. I kind of like it.
Not real glasses. Okay. That's right there, man.
Double check your spelling. Unicycle Mike on the garden song, he says, and maybe he's interpreting this slightly incorrectly, but he says, my wife likes to garden. She has multiple planter boxes. We work on them together. She will ask me to till her soil and sow some seeds, but it's a together thing, and we love gardening.
Okay, well, good. If it works for you, that's good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I told my wife the other day, I said, I really need like creative time. So one day a week that we're just working on creative stuff. She's like, okay, cool. You want to do like paint together or something? I'm like, nope. I need creative time.
Yeah, just on your own, right?
You
what is the creative thing you do? Other than put tattoos all over your body?
Yeah, a little bit. I like to write. I like to draw a little bit, like little music stuff. I got some things.
Oh, fascinating.
I don't paint barns, but.
Andrew makes soup.
That's right.
Right.
I make soups every week. Every week I make soups.
Okay, well, Duncan have started.
What you have a laundry list of creative. endeavors.
A lot of music, and then a lot of painting. And then every painting I come up with, Nick's was like, and we could put that in the garage. I'm like, in the garage?
What garage? Your whole house is a garage.
I know, but like, why is it out in the garage? I'm like, she goes, well, we don't have a place for it. I'm like, we got a place for it. There's plenty of walls. She says, stop with all the barns. Like, it's a barn. It's a barn theme. It's fine. It's fine. Plus, I got my pumpkins. No, it's the distance apart. It's so funny because people feel like they always have to be right there next to you.
Right.
There's the great test. And it was Camus. I forget who it was. Jack Kerouac, I forget who it was, said this, that if you can drive in the car with your partner and have no words spoken, but have no tension, it's the sign that that's a healthy relationship. Mm-hmm. That you're not like, oh, we need to just fill those moments with just, nonsense or just chat about whatever. You should be able to sit in silence with that. I forget who the writer was, that is a sign of a good friend. That's someone you can sit in silence with. Not sit there and stare at him the whole time.
Right.
That would be awkward. But just in silence, that there's something to it shows the strength of the relationship.
Yeah,
Plus,
you don't feel like there's a problem that has to be solved.
No, and then it gives you a chance to listen to the show. You're sitting there with your partner, and you can enjoy the John Curley Show without somebody talking over it all of a sudden.
Fair.
Right. Thank you, Teeny. That's good. All right. So coming up, let's see. We'll talk about Trump's vow to cut the federal funds to sanctuary cities. I think you tried this in 2017. I forget which court. It was like, you can't do that. But he's trying again. Apparently, Seattle bracing for the impacts. Not that I would want this to happen to the president, but if he were to pass away in office, all of a sudden there would be this giant vacuum formed in Seattle and all these other blue states. They're like, who would you then blame? You got to find somebody to blame. He would go away, and they're like, we don't have anybody to say, this is some terrible thing. And then Tim Walz, of course, going back at it again, trying to stoke more fear and fires, even though he then asked for the Trump to lower the temperature. And the last part of it is we'll hit the food pyramid. This is a crazy story, real quick. So what happens is Eisenhower has a heart attack. And then I think it was 1954 or something like that. He has this heart attack, and they decide that, the problem is his diet. He's eating too many fatty foods. The fact that the guy smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day. They didn't look at that. What's the problem here? We had a heart attack because of fat. So we're going to, and because remember, the government was promoting cigarette smoking, and they went, that's a big deal. So let's say, so then it started to come up with what's the reason Eisenhower and what's the reason Americans are having heart attacks? It could be the cigarettes, but no, they decide. They hire this guy, Ansel Keys, and he decides to dig in. He says, you know what it is? It's clogged arteries due to fat. He comes up with a study, which was total garbage. In fact, it was so bad they didn't even publish it when it came out. And it wasn't until somebody found all these IBM tapes that were in the basement of the thing, they put it all together and they found out that this stuff was just junk. They didn't publish it for like 10, 15 years after Ansel Keys came up with it, but deciding that, no, it's all about cholesterol. That's the problem, cholesterol. And then it gets even worse from there when the federal government gets involved. Well, how can we subsidize the farmers? I know. Let's make everybody eat a bunch of grain. And now it's flipped over. Crazy Robert Kennedy Jr. has taken the pyramid and flipped it over the other way.
Oh, kooky Rob.
Potato. There are potatoes on the pyramid? Huh? I think soup's on there for Andrew. Let's check with Lori. Checking traffic, Lori.
Both directions of I-5 really struggling through Seattle and 405 through Bellevue. In fact, 405 continues slow all the way to 524 Swamp Creek area. Bellevue to Everett is about an hour and 8 minutes now. Southbound I-5 continues slow from Duwamish River Curve all the way past 516, and then from 167 all the way to the T-Dome. Seeing a slowdown now 16 into Gig Harbor. Tacoma to Olympia, 53 minutes. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
This is what the NFL playoffs are all about.
The Seahawks win the game!
A dominant Seahawks team, 2 wins away from the Super Bowl.
This is the vision that we had for our team.
Hosting a bitter rival.
Richard Sherman tips it!
In front of the best, loudest fans in the game.
Listen to the 12th man!
Let's go. Seahawks 49ers, Saturday night. Kickoff at 5 on the home of the Seahawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill, but that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on, and so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be, for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
The 37th annual Holiday Magic was another one for the record books. Thanks to everyone who donated.
You always come through.
It's not too late to donate. Just go to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional.
If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest. This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump is floating the idea of sending in the military, saying he's weighing invoking the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis. Officials in Minneapolis continue to push back on the massive federal force already there, but are also urging public calm. CBS's Matt Gutman is there.
In Minneapolis this evening, tensions are soaring. Protesters facing off against federal agents.
You get a sense of how many federal troops are out here.
And just moments later,
they deployed a bunch of chemical agents on this crowd.
It is unrest set off by a second ICE agent-involved shooting.
After 3 U.S. officials also tell CBS News the officer was allegedly attacked by men with a shovel and a broom handle. CBS's Lana Zach is also in Minneapolis.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Activity is working now on their own investigation into this second shooting. They were iced out of the federal investigation that was taking place into Renee Good's shooting.
The Trump administration is keeping a close eye on Iran. A Gulf official tells CBS News that Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and Egypt have all engaged in diplomacy to try and lower the temperature between Iran and the U.S. Sources also tell CBS News that Iran threatened to attack multiple countries in response to a potential U.S. strike. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
There have been channels of communication that have been opened. The Iranians, there haven't been the widespread protests, which is what President Trump had said that has to stop. Otherwise, the United States is going to intervene. So that has been turned down a little bit, but they are still militarily postured. The United States is there. They've got plenty plenty of assets in the region to get stealth fighters, heavy bombers.
President Trump hosted Venezuelan opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado for lunch. And afterwards, she told reporters,
I presented the President of the United States the medal of the Nobel Peace Prize.
The Nobel Peace Center says the medal can exchange owners, but the title of a Nobel Peace Prize laureate cannot. Machado has also met with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. President Trump has unveiled in an online video what he is calling the Great Healthcare Plan, which he says includes healthcare savings accounts that cut out the insurance company middlemen.
I want to end this flagrant scam and put extra money straight into the healthcare savings account in your name, and you go out and buy your own healthcare, and you'll make a great deal. You get better healthcare for less money.
The president says his plan will hold insurance companies accountable. He's calling on Congress to immediately pass it. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
An anti-ice rally took place at Boeing Field this morning. More on that coming up. Right now, let's say hello to Lori at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Hello there. Traffic is brought to you by KIRO Newsradio App. Both directions of I-5 still really heavy through Seattle and 405 through Bellevue. We're seeing a pretty big slowdown all the way to about Swamp Creek just before I-5. In Alderwood, South Center to Alderwood on 405 is an hour 10 minutes. If you take I-5, it's an hour 17 minutes. Southbound 5 continues slow from about the Duwamish River curve all the way past 516, and then from 167 to the T-Dome. 16, pretty heavy right now as you head into Gig Harbor. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite show and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good evening. I'm Nate Connors. A big anti-ice protest rally happened this morning at the King County Airport. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch was there.
The event was sponsored by the group La Resistencia, and they were joined by a couple of hundred people. They were here to protest ICE and what they call ICE's violent tactics, and most importantly, deportation flights that happen here at the airport. Here's protester Mickey Rowe.
I think that ICE needs to stop deporting our families. I think that family separation is state violence.
Organizers pledged to continue these protests. One man told me our way of life is at stake. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A woman is lucky to be alive after her car was sprayed with bullets overnight in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery has more.
Police showed up to the 6500 block of Sylvan Way Southwest to find a woman shot in the arm. Also shot, multiple cars and at least one house with people inside. Investigators were able to determine multiple people had opened fire for a total of 60 rounds. The suspects had driven away by the time police got there. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Edmonds leaders have voted to raise the sales tax by 0.1%. The extra money will fund street and sidewalk projects and boost maintenance staffing. According to the Everett Herald, collections could begin in April, bringing in about $660,000 this year. By 2027, the city expects to collect around $1 million annually. Well, scientists expect the crowd at Saturday's Seahawk playoff game to generate so much energy that they've installed earthquake measuring equipment at Lumen Field.
The inspiration?
Oh, my word!
Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch's 67-yard touchdown in the 2011 playoffs.
The beast is alive and well!
It became known as Beastquake after raucous fans triggered seismic equipment.
That one was kind of serendipity that we discovered that there was a seismic signal when that happened on one of our regular stations that was across the street, actually.
Pacific Northwest Seismic Network Director Harold Tobin. He says they've set up 6 seismometers around the stadium for fun and for educational purposes. They'll be sharing the results online. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
And just in time for Saturday's game, Hawk Alley is back open for business.
It's like an act of a football god.
Not divine intervention, but Seattle's Human Services Department. Utah Avenue in Soto had been popular for tailgating, but it's been clogged with tents and trash. City representatives tell KIRO 7 TV the area had been on their list for cleanup for a while. Well, now a check on your weather. We've got another chilly night ahead with an overnight low near 38 in Seattle. Friday morning starts off cloudy, turning mostly sunny and a high around 52. Right now, cloudy and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show.
Listener
introduction
All righty, let's hear it.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, John, the difference between Ashley Babbitt and the other woman is that Ashley Babbitt climbed through the window that she broke out of a 200-year-old door.
Yeah.
That belonged to everybody.
Okay. That is a difference. She did go through the door, through the window there. She was protesting. So I think the similarities come in. You had Ashley Babbitt and Renee Good, both protesting, both following hyperbolic speech, one possibly people say by the president. Although if you listen to the total speech, we're going to walk down there peacefully and we're going to tell the people we're going to fight, right? But you get these people that were part of Ice Watch, right? And they're being told, get in there and stop this. So I think they're both similar individuals. But you are right. She did. She went through the door, through the window of the people's house. And by the way, that was the street. It was also the People's Street where this Good was shot and killed. So I still hold that they're the same unfortunate individuals that are protesting something and then their lives are ended. Diving into the news. Well, president's at it again. This time, Trump vows to cut the federal funding to sanctuary cities. Como News reports on this. I think that, the Justice Department, they're looking into it. But they think he tried this in 2017. The courts are like, yeah, you can't do that. And now...
Because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens.
At an event in Detroit, President Trump said his administration in February will halt any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities.
Regardless of background, we want to be accessible and opening and welcoming for all.
Last year, Seattle council members passed a resolution reaffirming the Emerald City as a welcoming city. And the Department of Justice labeled Seattle and Washington as sanctuary jurisdictions that, in their words, impede enforcement of federal immigration laws. Seattle gets approximately $120 million from the federal government for critical programs like transportation, senior services, nutrition, and housing resources, and it remains unclear what exactly could be cut under the president's claim.
I look forward to talking to City Attorney Evans to assess the legality of something like this. Legal or not, the impact is there. The message this sends to our residents.
Councilmember Alexis Mercedes Rink chairs a committee that helps the city ID changes in federal policy that could threaten city funding. She says it will meet to discuss next steps.
We're continuing to take up the issue of funding.
I don't quite get this. So if I were sitting there as an elected official, it's like, okay, so what's the point of the sanctuary city? We talked about this yesterday. They say, we need to have a sanctuary city because undocumented individuals that are living here in the state of Washington are afraid if they did go to the police to report domestic violence or something else that's happening, they're afraid that they will be swept up. That's not the case because statistics show this is a study that was done out of Texas, and the reason they will do it out of Texas because they used to keep track. They would ask, are you from this country? They knew. They had good data. What they found was the people that were undocumented reported crimes to police just as often, if not more so, than American citizens that were here. So this whole idea of the sanctuary city so that people won't feel as if they feel like they can still go to the police. If the data doesn't support the structure of you building this sanctuary city, why have it? Because what you're saying is if you are part of organized crime, if you are coming in from a cartel, if you'd like to sell drugs, or if you'd like to transport children in the sex trade industry, where are you going to go? Well, go to sanctuary cities where you know they're not going to try to be looking for you, they're not going to catch you, they're not going to ask you any of that sort of stuff. So you want to find out, is there a higher rate of crime that occurs in sanctuary cities from undocumented? Well, the problem with that is they don't keep track of where you're from. You're not allowed to ask. But why? Why? I'd love to know from somebody that put this thing in place. I forget when we started that in the state of Washington, that we were going to become a sanctuary city. Was it 98? I forget the year. Anyway, the president's going to try this again. He's not going to be able to make it happen. You're not going to be able, because once Congress appropriates those funds, you can redirect for under certain purposes, but in most cases, it's very hard for the president to say, we're not going to give you the money that we've already said we're going to give you. So this is the back and forth, and you're going to get Dan Brown's going to come up and sue him again. I think this is another case. I think he's got another one. How many lawsuits? He spent $5 million already.
50.
Is it 50 million?
No, 50 lawsuits.
50 lawsuits, $5 million already is going into it, but it's ongoing cost of each one of these suits. Right. I don't even want to talk about Tim Walz, but I'll do it anyway. So the governor, who would have been the vice president, old coach Tim Walz, he was at it last night to give a great big speech, because let's not look at all of the waste, fraud, abuses going on, billions of dollars coming out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and going to a bunch of fraudsters in Somali daycare centers. So he says,
what's happening in Minnesota right now defies belief. News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos and disruption and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota.
So those armed agents of the federal government have been established under ICE, which was right after 9/11. They decided to start this thing. I tell you what, I think it was 2003. They started funding it. The idea is that you're going to be able to, that federal agents will go into states and will enforce immigration laws. As written, Tim, by Congress, passed in the Senate, and agreed to fund for this department after 9/11. So this is part of a law. This is they got the law. It was written. Now they're coming in. Now, if there is chaos and there's a whole bunch of problem, it might be the people that have the app on their phone that are being taught how to interrupt arrests. And if you see an ICE agent grabbing somebody, go over and grab that person and pull them away from the ICE agent. Make noise. Use your car to block them. Use loud sounds and bells and lasers and get in their face and take pictures of them and scream at them. It's like, so on one side, you've got the ICE agents. You may or may not agree with their methods. Then on the other side, you got the governor who, at this point, a little later on the speech, is going to tell you what to do.
Armed, masked,
Yeah, they're allowed to be armed. It's in the law. It's the law. There's an ICE agent that was beaten over the head the other day with a shovel and a broom by these two guys when he was trying to arrest this other guy, and he ended up pulling out a gun and shooting one of them. But anyway.
Trained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people.
Neighbors of color. Oh, God.
Indiscriminately, including you.
Just indiscriminately just pulling them over? Just whoever, just stop them, just pull them over?
As citizens, and demanding to see their papers.
They're not demanding to see their papers. Oh, my God.
And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools.
Yeah.
They're breaking windows.
They're breaking windows. So when they go up to a guy and they know who the guy is and they say, get out of the car, and the guy refuses to get out of the car, they say like 5 or 6, 7 or 8 times, and they said this is the lawful order, get out of the car. The people don't get out of the car, so they break the window.
Dragging pregnant women down the street.
Yeah.
Just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans.
Yeah, right.
Kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process.
I think I saw this
Let's
movie.
be very, very clear.
Is Liam Neeson
this
in
long
this?
ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government.
So what should we do?
But as bad as it's been,
Yeah.
Donald Trump intends for it to get worse.
Yeah, okay.
This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state, who dared to vote against him 3 times. So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough.
Okay. Does he tell people what to do?
I've got that here if you want.
Yeah, here he is. So again, remember, this is a law. ICE has been created by Congress, and they are their job is to enforce, because only the federal government enforces immigration. So they're armed, they're wearing masks because they get doxxed. So they're coming into these states, sanctuary cities like Minneapolis, and they're going around and they're trying to get these people. They might have a retainer. Please hold that guy because he raped a 12-year-old. He sodomized a 14-year-old boy. We know where he is. We know you have him because you got him on a DUI or you got him on an assault charge. Please hold him for us so we can get him because I don't think Minnesotans want a man that goes around raping 12-year-old girls in your community, regardless of the color of the guy. And Minneapolis goes, nope, we'll let him go. So when ICE shows up, now they got to go find him. So they go knocking on doors. Where does he work? Where is he? Got to go get him. Now we got to find him. So you get all the mess that goes with this. Now, this is what the governor is saying he wants the citizens of his great state to do.
You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times.
Yes.
And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is...
What?
He goes on for about 5 more minutes.
The people that reported on ICE that Renee Good got sucked into from her kids' charter school, they're having these 6-year-old kids, turning them into social justice warriors. And part of this group that she signed up with said, here are all the things you need to do to prevent ICE from these atrocities. And one of them was, get your car and get in front of them and stop them. Do what you can to prevent them from doing the job, right? Disrupt. I mean, can you imagine if an IRS agent was coming and would you disrupt that? Like other parts of the federal government that come in to enforce federal laws, this guy and the people that are part of this Follow ICE group or whatever the name of that group is, being told, get in there and screw around with law enforcement. Yeah, and he went on to explain other stuff you're supposed to do, but peacefully throws that thing. You think people are listening to that? When you use words, Tim, like Nazi and Gestapo and, comparing it to rounding up people and just knocking on doors and where are your papers? Boy, Minnesota is a mess because of people like Tim Walz and what's his name?
Jacob Fry.
Jacob Fry, who, by the way, went to Villanova. Yeah, very depressing.
Do you cross paths with him?
And I don't know when he was. I was there. I didn't see him. He wasn't over in the theater department. Finally,
can I ask you 2 questions?
Sure, 2. Yes.
So, one, do you think? I mean, it seems like the way that Trump's administration is kind of functioning, it's like classic trolling. Like from everything that they post.
Both of them are equally guilty.
Right, but and so everything that like all the grandstanding and kind of flexing that Trump and the White House do with their posts and their memes and all this stuff, it seems like
terrible.
They're trying to incite a reaction and they're getting exactly the reaction that they want.
Yes.
And everybody's kind of playing into each other's hands.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. I mean, this is very controversial. I think Trump wants more violence. I think Walz wants more violence, right? We're no longer a land of laws, but it's might makes right. This, like the Shaw rebellions, in between the passing or the Declaration of Independence and then the Constitution in 1787, right in between that time in there was all of this uproar of the power of the federal government, the power of the states, and you would get all of these mob riots all over the place. Same sort of stuff happens here. So we are now reduced to who has more fight, not laws. But yeah, he's coming in there, the big bully. Donald Trump's going to show him. He's going to get him. Tim Walz going to show. But the death of Renee Good was the thing that people wanted. I saw during the Golden Globe Awards, which dropped, I think, 7 or 8% in viewership. The people had little buttons on there, right? Not that they certainly didn't want anybody to die, but you want somebody to all of a sudden become, quote unquote, the martyr, although that's not a good word to use. Martyrs didn't die for causes like that. They died specifically because they believed in Jesus Christ. But yeah, they needed somebody. And now Trump needs somebody, just like the National Guard individual who was shot and killed there in the streets of New York, right?
Right.
You need the bloodshed because then all of a sudden you can point to that kind of stuff. So this is what we've been reduced to.
And but like, your
it's
best
just so
guess.
pathetic. It's so sad. But if you whoa, my new thing, right? Watch it like a Netflix show.
Yeah, well, you got a prediction for the ending? I mean, like, to what end is
I don't
all
know.
this?
How
like,
does this
insane?
end?
Yeah.
Don't forget, when the biggest thing that he ran on after 11 million people came into the country illegally under Biden, the biggest thing he ran on was, I'm going to close down. I don't need to pass a law in Congress, which was Biden kept saying, boy, if Congress would write it, they would do something. We could do something about this border problem. Trump came in there within about 2-3 months. Poof, it's done. Over. That's it. Nobody's coming in. So he got elected on that. There was this big thing, closing down the border, sweeping up all these people, the worst of the worst, and getting them out of here. And by the way, I'm also going to bring down the cost of living. Good luck, right? So those are the things he came in on there. People voted for that. That's what they liked. That's what they wanted. They saw an invasion into the sovereign nation of the United States. Everybody saw the videos coming across, and the media tried to ignore it all those years and covered the whole thing up. So he's like, this is what you elected me to do. I'm going to continue to do this sort of stuff. But now it's...
But we don't hear like in Dallas, which has a massive...
This is like in Alabama and Mississippi during the 60s, right? Where you send the National Guard in to get those kids to be able to go into the schools. And you get the states, the southern states there, and the racist southern states that were blocking and having the local police stand in front, and the National Guard has come in and escort the children into the schools. It's the same sort of thing that happened. But in this case, you've got rather than having the racist Democrats in the South, you've got Donald Trump coming in, the federal government coming in to enforce these laws. I don't know what happens next. Let's see. Let's do a Netflix episode on this one. I'm still going with my other prediction, as horrible as it is. I don't want it to come true, but I think a number of ICE agents get seriously injured.
Yeah, it seems almost inevitable.
Yep.
Slightly related question. Do you think Trump, looking at his health, do you think he survives? Do you think he lives through this term?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw JFK Jr. talking about how horrible his diet is. There's a great piece I think I saw in the American Spectator, or maybe the Spectator, that the void that'll be created, they think Gavin Newsom will beat J.D. Vance. Because you can't pick up what Trump did and become Trump. That's done. Nobody's going to be able to do that. So then you have to try to shed some of that Trump stuff and kind of cut the MAGA stuff away. But then the MAGA people all of a sudden aren't supporting. So then somebody like Gavin Newsom,
it's a pendulum swing. I mean, it just keeps happening.
Yeah, Joe, it's nutty. But luckily, I've got a nice latte here to enjoy.
You got any soup?
That's Andrew. Here comes Lori checking traffic. Lori.
405 northbound is pretty heavy from Bellevue all the way to Alderwood, making your drive 49 minutes. Seattle to Everett is an hour and 2 minutes. Federal Way, an 8-minute delay at 27 minutes. Now, Federal Way to Tacoma, only 18 minutes, but both directions of 18 pretty slow from 167 to I-5, and 16 rolling pretty slow as you head into Gig Harbor. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. The terrible situation, you wake up in the morning and you put your feet down on the floor and you go, oh, it's cold. You go down and check the thermostat and it's like 54 degrees and it's cold outside. It's even colder inside. Well, it feels colder inside because what's happened? Your heating system has busted. When we get about 4 or 5 days of continued cold weather, that furnace or that heat pump is running. If you got something that's 10 years or older, there's a pretty good chance it could give up the ghost on you. So you want to make sure that you've got Home Comfort Alliance ready to go. It's on speed dial. It's on a piece of paper. You got a magnet there on the refrigerator. And they're going to be the ones that you're going to call because when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, for about 50 years, Home Comfort Alliance has been there. They've been to more than 90,000 homes. 90,000 homes. They are the ones to call. If something goes wrong this winter, you've got to make sure that Home Comfort Alliance, these are the guys that are coming into your house. It's in their name, Comfort. That's Home Comfort Alliance. When it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, there's only one place, HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Hi, I'm Manda Factor. Kidnapped and disappeared. A member of our delegation's take on what's happening in Minnesota. Well, the 12 flags are flying. The trash talking's underway. We'll get you ready for Saturday's Seahawks game. You'll hear from the head coach on the Mike McDonald preview at 8:15. Paul Holden has your weekend planner. And as Revive I-5 continues, Sully has traffic every 10 minutes on the 3s. Hope you can join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
Subscribe to the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel and watch live.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, "Are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep." I'm like, "So you're going to wake me up?"
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, it's not fair that you're sleeping.
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
And good evening, I'm Nate Connors. A bill that would let Washingtonians sue masked federal agents is moving forward after a contentious Senate committee vote today. Democrat Javier Valdez, the prime sponsor, says it's about transparency.
Bill will just ensure that folks know that when it comes to law enforcement, they know who they're interacting with, and they cannot shield their identities.
Republican Jeff Holey voted no, saying the bill is nothing but pure optics.
Pointless, unconstitutional, and puts our officers at risk.
More than 14,000 people signed in support of the measure, a record for the Law and Justice Committee. The bill now heads to the Rules Committee. King County Metro says for the first time in years, assaults on bus drivers and passengers are down. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports.
Metro officials say in 2025, 55 incidents were reported involving a driver feeling threatened. Out of those, 7 met the criteria for criminal charges. That's compared to 78 incidents in 2024 and 63 in 2023.
We are committed to creating a safe work environment.
But the drivers' union says that's not enough.
It was just over 2 years ago that King County bus driver Sean Yim was killed by a passenger. Metro says it will continue to make safety improvements. 4 Washington school districts are under federal investigation. The U.S. Department of Education announced Wednesday it has launched Title IX investigations in the 10 states, including 4 in Washington: Cheney, Sultan, Tacoma, and Vancouver. Complaints claim these districts allow students to join sports based on gender identity, not biological sex, allegedly discriminating against women and girls. The Vancouver School District says it was notified of the investigation but cannot comment while it is underway. Seattle Sports is reporting Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold is on the injury report. During today's practice, Darnold said that he felt something in his oblique while passing the ball. He sat out the rest of practice, stating, I just didn't want to push it. This is the first time Darnold has had any issue with his obliques. He is confident he'll be ready to play by Saturday. Drew Lock is our backup quarterback. And now let's check in with Lori at the real-time traffic desk.
If you're heading from Alderwood to South Center on 405, that's an hour, but I-5, just 29 minutes. Northbound 405, still pretty heavy all the way from Bellevue to Alderwood. That's a 49-minute drive. Federal Way to Tacoma, we're looking at 18 minutes. Still seeing a pretty big slowdown both directions of 18 between 167 and I-5. And 167 slows southbound out of Renton all the way from Auburn all the way through Puyallup, and 16 really struggling as you head into Gig Harbor. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thanks, Lori. And now your weather, mostly cloudy, continues into the evening with a low near 38 in Seattle. Those clouds will start us off Friday morning, turning mostly sunny tomorrow afternoon and a high around 52. Cloudy and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
So much better with your glasses on.
Sorry, guys. Where is it? Right here. It's going to go away.
Wayne Newton.
There we go. Not Wayne Newton.
Yeah.
You think they call me Liberace? Wayne Newton?
Yeah, Wayne Newton.
You had a lot of work done?
Oh. Yeah, but the swelling never went down.
Let's talk some Seahawks. Seahawks! Talking to Rai, the sports guy, my son. Las Vegas odds say Seahawks win Super Bowl. You see that?
I did. They also ran million simulations on a supercomputer.
Yeah.
Guess who they had winning?
Seahawks. By the way, if you do have season tickets, be warned, everybody. You know the story already.
Jeff Hindle is a season ticket holder.
We have a firm policy in our group that nobody sells their tickets to, non-Seahawks fans.
Now the Seahawks are sending out their warning about playoff ticket resales.
We're happy to provide the ability to resell. If they determine that your tickets were primarily used for resale, I think that's the tipping point.
If ticket holders do resell, it could affect their renewal eligibility next season.
Right, no pun intended with Seahawks, but I'm glad they're finally ruffling some feathers. Yeah.
I get that. To support your own hometown team. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you go there for a collective experience. And yeah, it's fun sparring with fans from other teams and things like that in a fun way, but it's way more fun high-fiving, a Seahawks fan when something fantastic happens.
We're going to go hard, like we always do.
Seattle sports fans are soaking it up.
Take a step back and really look at the history of things. It's like we're living in wonderful times right now.
Yeah, so other teams do this as well. They notice where your zip code is, and they see if you're selling the tickets. They don't want you to necessarily do that. They want, all the fans that are supposed to be there in the stands. So let's see what will happen. So if somebody wants to sell their tickets and they don't want to have anybody track it, you will probably see more scalpers out there. That could be a possible way to do it, right? You could transfer the tickets that way?
Yeah, I guess so. If you were out there with your little Venmo, and I don't think they do paper tickets anymore. But.
No, they don't. But they would have to transfer it over. But then I guess they would then know that you transferred it to somebody, right? So just trying to think what's a fallout of this thing.
I don't know. I mean, perhaps they could, if the game happens and they notice a particularly dense sea of red somewhere, and they go, well, wait a minute, that's not usually red. Then they could look at these super cameras they have and say, okay, that's not the guy who owns those tickets. I mean, if they wanted to really audit them, they could go to kind of reverse engineer it. But I don't know if they're going to go that far. I think, from what I understand, they're just kind of looking at like the StubHub and markets like that, and if they see tickets that they know are held by season ticket holders for sale, and maybe it's just a threat, and they're not going to make good on it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to follow through. If you're a season ticket holder for all those years, and then all of a sudden, that would not play well, because somebody's going to then, the news will find some story of some guy, I couldn't do it. I broke my leg and I wasn't able to go to the game, or my kid was having some sort of birthday celebration, whatever it is. And then then I got this letter from the Seahawks telling me I've lost the rights to my season tickets.
Yeah, I don't, and not to mention, legally you can sell your tickets. They don't want you to, but it's in the contract. It says you're allowed to resell them. So now they're just saying, if you do that, I guess, to an excessive degree, or for this game in particular, but I don't think they have.
I mean, I know there's an agreement when they buy the tickets, they're your tickets.
Yeah.
But they're still holding on to it, saying we'll sell you the tickets, you've got it. But now what if you buy what if you're a Seahawks fan, and you got the tickets, and all of a sudden you go, you know what? I think I want to wear a 49ers shirt. Huh?
Oh. They're not gonna be happy.
You want both. What do you want? The whole stadium filled with just Seahawks fans?
I think that would be their best case scenario. Yeah, give you the biggest home field advantage in that case.
Here's the other part of the job. If you do get tickets and you are lucky to be able to go, I haven't seen what the secondary market looks like on these things. If you go, you have to stand the whole time, and you have to scream the whole time. But you do not scream. So Seahawks are on defense. When the 49ers are in the huddle, relax. Still stand. It's fine. But it's not until they come to the line of scrimmage, then you yell, right? Then the volume goes up, right? We want to create disturbance. The best part is you see the quarterback. He's screaming right and left, pretty yelling. You can't even hear, right? He's got his hands up like this. Delay a game or a timeout. Then you feel like, oh, look at that. We forced the down to be lost. We are actually affecting the game. But we got to time it right.
I would argue that the huddle is a good time too, because that's when the quarterback is getting the play sent to them in their.
But it's right in the headset. That's fine on that. It's when they come out, because the thing is, if you show a different defense all of a sudden, and then you got Purdy's got to make an audible change there at the line, and you see him screaming down the line, screaming. You can see where you affect it.
Oh yeah.
When I took Rye to a game last year, and we were really disappointed. The people are sitting the whole time. And Rye's like, what's going on with these people? And then his theory was the tickets are so expensive that it becomes a social thing. Oh, you want to go to a Seahawks game? Yeah, sure. But you don't have the real fans. You go up in the 300 or the Hawks Nest over there. Those are the real fans. But then you get into that, like the club stuff, but you sit in the comfy seats and they're sitting the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I said to Rye, we're going to stand up. Rye goes, I'm standing the whole game. I don't get people behind me. Too bad. Too bad. I'm here for the game. Yeah. If you want to sit the whole time for some sort of social thing, what are you out there dating your sister? So I never understood, right? When I used to run track at KIRO, and that was Stephen Chauncey French, our coach. Like, you came in, we were out there, running 400s and stuff, and the timing, he's like 53, 54, 55. You come across, and he'd go, anything over 57 seconds, he'd go, January, February, March. He'd yell out months, right? And then he'd go, what are you guys, on a date with your sister? Like, I'm sorry, I'm a couple seconds slow on a four. What am I on a date with? Yeah, around the back turn, I was dating my sister.
Would you move slower if you were dating
I don't know.
your
But
sister?
like, what is that? Like, it's the stupidest thing to yell. Anyway, everybody's like, "Ooh, now, hey, that's the whole history of the Seahawks. Where did they get their name from?"
In 1975, Tom Barnum discovered a contest over the radio to name the new NFL team coming to Seattle. He sent in several ideas.
Ospreys. I had the Mariners. I have the Sockeyes.
That's right. Barnum tells me we could have been cheering for the Seattle Mariners, just as a football team. But in the end, we all know which name won out.
That's great. That's fantastic.
The newly named Seahawks recognized Tom during its inaugural season with tickets and a personalized souvenir book.
More than 20,000 people entered that competition to name the team, and other names entered included the Bigfoots, Pike Street Misfits, and the Diarrheas.
What?
Seriously. Come on, people.
That fit for them for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
They were always a guaranteed win. The Seahawks, whenever you played the Seahawks back when they first started. Yeah, but now look at us.
Look at us now.
Again, Las Vegas running all the tabulations saying that the Seahawks, we know they jinxed it, but picked to win the Super Bowl.
It's a Saturday. I kind of want to go down. I don't have tickets, but I kind of want to go down to the stadium on Saturday. That'd be fun.
And we just hang around.
Yeah, go have a beer.
Loser. Here's Lori checking traffic.
Seattle to Everett right now, just under an hour at 58 minutes. To Federal Way, you've got a 28-minute drive. In Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 3 minutes. To Federal Way, 48 minutes. Now, if you're heading from Bellevue to Seattle on the bridges, I-90 right now, 32 minutes. It's about a 7-minute delay, and 520, 9 minutes. Federal Way to Bellevue, 38 minutes. 7 minutes longer than usual. And Federal Way to Seattle, we're seeing a slow go at 35 minutes. Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app. Stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. I'm Lori. KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Let's see. If you have got a bad hip, wrist, elbow, knee, if you ever use the term bone on bone, and you've been thinking about, well, I probably have to get surgery or something like that, have you been considering stem cells? Maybe you did some research a while ago. Maybe you haven't thought about it. Maybe somebody had the thing done 20 years ago. They tell you it didn't work. I'm telling you right now, the advancements in stem cell and how it works, this is your move. This is right for you, the guy you got to see, the man, I'm telling you, has changed my life. I've got running back in my life again. I hadn't been able to run in about 7 years because I got a bad hip. Go in, sent the MRI, sent the x-rays to Dr. Mark Wagner. Dr. Mark Wagner, right there. Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. And I did it. It was a 90-minute in-office. I went right in there, did the procedure, 90 minutes, come back out. I was going to do the show. Did I do the show the same day? I did, didn't I?
Sure did.
I did, yeah. There you go.
Same day.
My hip is great. I'm telling you right now, stem cell for you, this could be the best move. The best move. Shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is. First step for you is to get to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD.
The G and Ursula Show.
There's a brand new Gallup poll out that shows independents are actually now the biggest group in the country.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Does this surprise you?
No, it's like a card trick. People in card tricks, the reason why you get fooled is because you pay attention to what they say and you don't pay attention to what they do. Most people only start paying attention when elections, policies, and things start affecting you.
Subscribe to the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel and watch live.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
That's right, we still use a mailbag around here. Yeah. Is Hudson going to sing for us today? I know we've kind of shut him.
I think we got time for at least a couple bars.
There you go.
On the mailman to be messed with me.
Yeah.
On the mailman. Everything no. On the mailman, bring the mail to you.
Oh,
wow.
You missed it.
By a lot.
No, I got right on it. I hit the sign. Andrew, right?
Hit the paper sign there.
Paper sign. All right, here we go. The letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest. Joe.
Dennis in Seattle says, hey, all the other shows. Yesterday on the John Curley Show, John told me, Joe, Andrew, and AG about airport divorce. Hey, let's have some fun. It's a new year. So let's talk to James Carville. Give him a call. Also, who in the world is Grandma Cindy?
What? This is what Dennis does. He just throws a lot of stuff in there.
Grandma Cindy was in the DCYF cut. Remember, she said, my child care providers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I
loved her. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jesse B says, Bucky's. When is their birthday? We think it's March. Because we met, 10 years ago, we had Andrew call Bucky's.
Right.
And kept calling Bucky's and wishing them a happy birthday, and we never found out. But we think it's March. Anyway, moving on.
Jerry in the 206 says, French Connection all over again. Drugs to create untraceable CIA funding. Bahamas, Colombia, Iran-Contra, Watergate. It's ready to blow. 60 years of murderous CIA policy with Argentina, Bolivia, Colombia. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
Jerry sees it all. Nurse Lori in Tacoma says, your story about the slave girl poet gave me goosebumps. Thanks for sharing.
That was a good one.
Yes.
Doug in Mount Vernon, also on the book. Ironically, the book in the crate was known as the first coffee table book.
Good one, Doug. Good one. Nope. Does he get anything for that?
I wasn't sure if it was a joke. Andrew's
It is
busy
a
with
joke,
his
yeah.
soup.
Daniel in Tacoma says, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, in the ad read. That's why I listen to the show. Because I got this dyslexia, and they bring the script up, and I'm like, the words are flying all over the place. All I'm looking at is a little red line telling me how much longer do I need to talk.
Well said, well read.
All right.
Dan in Stanwood says, Lori sounds like she got into Joe's stash, or maybe Curly's pain pills.
Lori, don't worry about it. 206 in our house, it's not whoop, there it is. It's soup, there it is. Hubby and I love soup.
There you go, Andrew.
Who's still saying whoop, there it is?
Not their house.
Okay.
Paul in Sammamish says, I finally found your show on YouTube. Hey, when's John going to get his facelift? Signed Larry and Thorpe.
It's like Whidbey Island waterfowl from Whidbey. John? Or hi from Whidbey. Joe gives me the smallest one. I still screw it up.
That's right.
I'm so dyslexic.
You're doing great. Elliot from accounting says, I drink tons of coffee. I'll never come down with the maladies.
When it comes to history, Rachel C. says husband is quoting these words loud with you guys.
We were singing Don McLean.
Yeah.
Mike in Portland said, I met Don McLean 20 years ago, and I asked him what the meaning of the song was. He said, it means I never have to work another day in my life.
David, the naked mailbox guy. Just letting you know, I'm out there, and the song is the best.
Jamestown and Eastlake, this is on Captain Sully, says, I love how you could sense in the film that it was a very honest and direct, even with its little embellishments, it felt like we were sitting down for a table read or a small theatrical performance on stage rather than a film about a historical event.
Wow, you really read into all that. All right, thank you, Teeny.
For the letter of the day.
This comes to us from Tin Hat Jason.
Oh, yes.
He says, man, every time I have KIRO Radio on at 3 p.m., I see two of the best-looking, coolest studs in the PNW preparing for the best live entertainment in the PNW.
Yes.
The best part of my days off, no homo. Letter of the day, already in the books.
Wow. Nice.
Flattery gets you everywhere.
Yes, it does.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Didn't write no more.
Didn't write no
Don't
more.
seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I heard
Curtain runs off my shoulder.
curtain runs off my shoulder.
All right, we got to go to Lori.
How can I
Here comes Lori checking traffic. Sorry, Lori.
Bellevue to Bothell right now, a 9-minute delay, 39-minute drive. If you're heading from Bellevue to Seattle on I-90 right now, 32 minutes. 520, only 29 minutes. And Tacoma to Federal Way, or actually Tacoma to Bellevue is 56 minutes. And Tacoma to Seattle, 47 minutes. If you're heading from Seattle to Everett right now, just under an hour at 60 minutes. And Seattle to Tacoma in the opposite direction, 39 minutes. I'm Lori. KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
2 wins away from the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys.
The first obstacle, a hated rival.
Purdy has time, throws to the middle, intercepted.
Victim to some of the greatest playoff moments in Seahawks history.
Welcome to the dark side. Richard Sherman tips it. Whole city going up like it's our time.
Seahawks, 49ers.
All teed up.
The divisional round of the NFL playoffs.
You know how we do it. Better bring your hard hat when you can illumine.
Saturday night, kickoff at 5 on the home of the Seahawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. Now through February 1st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
I'm Chris Davis, former King County prosecutor and founder of the Davis Law Group in Seattle. If you've been injured in a crash caused by impaired or drunk drivers, there are special considerations that need to be taken to protect your legal rights. Davis Law Group's team of investigators and lawyers know how to properly investigate DUI crashes and identify all parties who might be legally responsible for your injuries and damages. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 or get my free book at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to the Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, to just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app.
Let's go.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
she's a gold and platinum selling icon, a modern-day Renaissance woman, an international treasure. Judy Collins brings her legendary voice to Jazz Alley, January 22nd through 25th. Get tickets now at jazzalley.com.
Your best source for local news.